All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
What in tarnation is going on with this thing?
What?
There we go. Jeez, that's my bad, ladies and gentlemen. All of a sudden, something just happened, and I lost control for a minute. I thought Frederick was going to take over, but like always, he's out here letting us down. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ASAP in the morning. Obviously, it is your boy Pride holding it down. Unfortunately, Freddie decided to make an appearance. I'm kidding, Freddie. We all love you. We got J-Mac in the building. We have Trey, who always looks like my disappointed father. We have a new man. His name is Ron. Trust me, Ron, I'm going to get something on you in a minute. Just wait long enough. We have Greg, who is about to pull a Bishop and give up on Patrick Mahomes. And we have Mitch, who genuinely believes Ben Simmons is better than Joel Embiid. God damn, I love this panel. How's everyone doing today?
What's good? What's good?
Doing good.
Good. Hey,
So, go ahead.
Live. Can we put this all on one big screen like this? And me and Trey want to do something real quick. Hey, Trey.
Yes, sir.
Just for the one time.
I know.
Just for the one.
So, with all the stuff that's been going on in the NBA lately, we'll go ahead and dive into that first. So, obviously, with Russ having his issues in LA, it looks like it's starting to get ironed out. And Zion, big and hefty. I mean,
Since that, baby.
Bro, he looked bad. He made me look in shape. Like, goddamn, my bad, Zion. But we all know he'll beat the shit out of me in real life. But Freddie, let me start with you. Do you think that Russ or Zion at this point just need to change the scenery?
Listen here. It takes time to shine when you in the bright lights of the purple and gold. You know, it's a lot of pressure, especially when you from LA, when there's expectations that you know it's championship or bust. It's not like the Phoenix Suns, where there's not that much expectation. The Golden State Warriors, the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not like that. When you put on the purple and gold, when you have a squad, it's expectations to win championships. So if you have some kind of slippage of your game, if you don't look the same, if you're losing games, there's always pressure. There's always you must win. Or it's either you look bad, you have no chance. The media, hey, Trey knows this for a fact. This is every time the Lakers have a championship caliber team. When they go on a run, the media loves them. But when they start to slip, oh, it's done. It's over. There's no way in hell that they'll win a championship. There's no way in hell they'll even make it to the championship. They get them bounced out the first round. The coach should be fired. This player should be traded.
Freddie, don't do that because you were screaming Vogel needs to be fired. Don't high road. Don't you dare high road it.
My position don't change on that. My position don't change on that, so don't come for me, Pride.
It's changing a little bit.
All right, thank you, J-Mac. Thank you.
It's changing a little bit. Yeah, it's changing
I know
a
you
little
heard a little bit this morning because of that purple and gold whooped that ass on that Boston dirty green. So I know your feelings are hurt just a little bit.
Y'all handle.
But Russ have played good the last 10 to 12 games. Go look at the numbers, averaging about 22, 23 points a game, 6, 7 rebounds, 7, 8 assists, only 2 or 3 turnovers. He's shooting the ball much better. So I mean, hey, if he can be this guy, we can tolerate with him. We can find ways to win basketball games if he's playing the way he's been playing. So I mean, we all know that this is not a natural fit. We know that this is it's going to take time to get these guys
How
gel.
much time, Freddie? Because I don't have all day to wait. How much time is it
well,
going to
we
take?
don't care about you waiting because we're not here to satisfy you.
How much time,
We're here to
Freddie?
we're here. There's one thing this Lakers the organization knows. They know how to win basketball games. They know how to win championships. So they
Freddie,
know
they're
going
500.
into
They're
they know.
500, Freddie. How much do they really know?
Say that again.
Well, hold on. To give them
They're
credit,
500. Maybe a game above 500. How much do they really
They
know?
are over 500. They are 13-12.
That's what I said. A game over 500. Okay.
You know what,
I'm
Jay?
saying they are. Yep, one game over 500. So they're on the right path. Especially after how it looked like earlier this season. And listen, I know it sounds like I'm being like sarcastic, but I'm really not. I'm really not being sarcastic. Go ahead, Frank.
You know what, Jay? Records. I don't care about the record right now. Okay, the
Yes,
records
you
is
do.
irrelevant.
You care
No,
about
I mean, the
records.
records
Don't
is
tell me you don't
irrelevant.
care
You know
about
why?
records.
But you know why? Unlike you, as a Houston Rocket fan that was bragging when you guys were going on that hot start a few years ago with James Harden, unlike Warriors and Suns fans right now, us Lakers fans, we know that it is a process. It's not about how you
Yeah, you're
started.
bugging. Nope, you're done. You're done talking.
Hey, listen, hold on. Listen,
Ain't
hey,
no way
Freddie.
he really.
Hold
This
on, wait, hold on.
ain't no
Hey,
way
Freddie.
Freddie
The
gonna
Rockets,
sit
the
here.
Rockets might take a page out of the Thunder playbook and come whoop that ass. So watch out. We might take a
Nah,
page
man, so
out of the
far.
Thunder
Nah, Freddie,
playbook
nah.
and whoop that ass.
Yeah, nah, Freddie. As soon as you said patience, I'm sorry, Freddie. We need
I
some
have a lot of
credibility
patience.
here, Freddie. And the instant you said you patient, you lost me, Freddie.
Where the
Jay,
hell
let me ask you a
where the hell is
question.
Bishop at?
He said, man, yo, Bishop ain't been seen, bro. I'm sorry, Bishop. I'm sorry. I think he's just waiting for everything to settle down because he don't want me to make no more Lincoln Riley jokes. I'm convinced that's what it is. J Mac, the Pelicans are last in the West, but do not have the worst record in the league, right? So it's something, right? Do you believe that just because they don't have the worst record in the league, they should keep Zion, or do you think that they should still consider trading him?
I don't think you trade Zion yet. Zion is young. I mean, yeah, he's had some injuries, but Zion is still very young. I think he's still your corner piece you build around. I just think it's good. Like Fritz, he's gonna have to exercise some patience. He got to exercise some patience, and they're just gonna have to build around him. Maybe get the free agent market. But I think Zion is still your guy you build around.
Trey, I'm assuming you would agree.
I wouldn't say necessarily because actually the person who you build around currently is Ingram. That's the person that their key person right now. Like you was just talking about earlier, Zion. He's got some conditioning situations that's going on there. But I mean, I'm a big purveyor of you don't want to wait too long, if possible. When you see if you see something that meets the criteria where everybody wins for the most part, don't take too much solace in holding on to something. Like, go ahead and ring that bell. If it's if Zion is if it's maybe it's about time or getting close to that time. I mean, he's on his second year. Uh, his contract is about to be up, and I'm very sure they're going to be even looking to move him to get for some type of value, or they're going to hold on to him and see if they can make it work. So, but I think his clock is definitely ticking there in New Orleans.
Yeah, Ron, first and foremost, welcome. Happy for you to be here. I promise you it's not this chaotic because Freddie's not always here, right? So I just want to throw that out there real quick, because trust me, you won't see the chaos in a few minutes here. But let me ask you something.
Hey, Ron, just want to give you the update that when I'm on the show, this is the best. This is the show vibe and the best it's ever had. So don't let him fool you. Don't let him.
Anyway,
fool you.
anyway, Ron, obviously, Zion, he does have the issues in terms of, the conditioning, the weight, some people questioning his work ethic. Do you think there's anything? Do you think at all there's anything the Pelicans can do, or should they kind of have a conversation amongst themselves, considering the possibility of just cutting ties with him?
I think that would be ridiculous. He's supposed to be one of the best. It was literally Zion or Luka just last year. He'll be all right. He's been getting work. His healthiness back. He's been injured. I think we got to cut Zion a break. If you look at the standings right now, they 7-11. They're literally 4 games out of the 10th spot for the playing game. Are we really gonna say that the Timberwolves is better than the Pelicans if Zion is healthy?
Ooh, Yana, I'm telling you right now, y'all not ready for my thoughts on that because I'm a little out there, but I do like the Minnesota Timberwolves. But Greg, let me actually throw that question to you. Ron made a good point. They're only 4 games out, so they theoretically could somehow get in the play-in, especially with the teams that they have to climb over being, the Thunder, the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Kings, right? And obviously Portland because they have the 10th seed. Do you genuinely believe that with a healthy Zion, that this New Orleans team can at least make the play-in?
Yes, if he's healthy, yes, they can. You just named the other teams. They're not the teams that are in front of the Pelicans. They're not all that better than them. So with the healthy Zion, yes, that can make a play-in game, but he has to start being serious. What I mean by being serious is this dude should not be weighing more than me. I mean, let's just be honest about it. His work ethic is kind of lazy, honestly. You have to be if you're serious about winning, at least come in, being in, shape and ready to go. And he's not there right now. So once he starts getting serious and gets in shape and things like that, then the Pelicans can definitely take off. But right now, he just seems like he's just there. Like he's not putting much effort in it. So. Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. Mitch, let me ask you something. In terms of Zion's weight issue, a lot of people are blaming it on Louisiana itself, right? Like they're saying that it's the food, the cuisine, the delicacies, the croissants, as the children say in the streets. It's all this stuff that's basically making him bigger. Do you give any validity to that, or do you kind of believe that the responsibility lies on Zion to, got it?
It relies on Zion at the end of the day. I mean, you're taking the food, create your own diet, do a workout plan, etc. But I remember when the parents of Zion didn't want him to play in New Orleans. So I'm always keeping that in the back of my head. Like, is that something, like, with his weight gain and everything? Are his parents, like, keep on telling him, we don't want you in New Orleans, we don't want you here, we want you at a better team, etc. So he's got to be on Zion at the end of the day.
Dante, let me ask you something, because someone said something kind of funny. Zion is top 10 when healthy. Stop it. I'm assuming they mean top 10 in terms of playing and not weight. Do you believe that they have a point here?
Talking about Zion in the top 10?
Yeah, as a top 10 player.
I think it's still 10 guys that are better than Zion. I will give him probably top 20 player, but he has to prove that he can get his weight at a minimum. Again, it's on him. It's on Zion. It's not on New Orleans. It's on him. He's got to want to have that work ethic. He's got to want to work. Right now, he's not trying. He's not trying to. Right now, the team is very good enough to get a playing game. They're very good enough. And Brandon Ingram is a dog, man. 6'10", like Kevin Durant, you can get to the rim. Long arms. He's pretty. That dude is a pretty good player. They got the pieces. They just need to probably stay healthy. And Zion has got to have a great work ethic, man. He's got to. It's all on Zion. Zion is goes as far. For the Pelicans to do something and go play, Zion has to get his head out his ass, and he has to be serious about his craft.
Mm. I feel bad for Zion because I don't know what it is. It's got to be something like that he's done before. Because like Mitch said, his parents didn't want him being there. His parents didn't want him in New Orleans, but they never said nothing. They never said like everyone always assumed it was just it's the team, right? Now we're kind of seeing the like why they really didn't want it because for all we know, maybe the pressure is a lot for him, and the way he handles it is by eating. That's one of the most common ways some people handle pressure, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the fact that he kind of just doesn't care, and he's like, "Hey, yo, it's a new place. Let me just try all the food possible." And maybe he just ended up falling in love with it and eating. Like I don't know what it is. I feel for the kid. I really do because if you're an athlete and you're getting that big and people are criticizing you, it's got to make him feel bad. It has to. That being said, Zion, do better. Do better. Because at the end of the day, you're an athlete. You're getting paid pretty good money. So you're able to, at least at the bare minimum, afford a trainer. At the bare minimum. And again, they have people at the facility that he can go and ask and talk to and all this stuff. So to me, someone said he lacks self-control and maturity. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is because at the end of the day, Zion really isn't going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, I'm eating because of this." The kid barely talks. You know what I mean? Like he's the type of dude. And Freddie, stop talking to yourself in the chat. He's like Zion is a dude that like gets if you talk to him, he's kind of awkward, so he's not really going to talk much. So if we'll ever find out the reason, only God knows. Damian Lillard reportedly wants to play with Ben Simmons. Just want to have a quick I told you so. To everyone who said Ben Simmons was trash, I'm gonna get in trouble with this. Fuck y'all, okay? Because I've been screaming Ben Simmons ain't dog shit. I've been saying that for a minute. All I say is he just needs to be in a better situation where instead of being the top guy, he only needs to be the third scoring option, and he'll be fine. Oh no, he's trash. Oh bro, did you see what he did in the playoffs? Meanwhile, no one want to talk about the fact that Joel Embiid had 8 turnovers. Oh bro, but Ben Simmons gave up the whole free throw or the whole layup. Did you know that Ben Simmons kept Trae Young in check, and that's kind of why they were still in the game? Oh no, Pride, it's totally Ben Simmons. You don't want to talk about the fact that Doc Rivers was throwing a little bitch fit, and he basically did exactly what he did in LA when he was coaching the Clippers, and he basically crossed his arm and dropped a 3-1 lead, and he was like, "You figured out yourself." But no, it's Ben Simmons' fault because the kid is what, Australian? Like, come on now, let's do better. Let's do better. I just want to throw that out there. Freddie, I'm gonna start with you. Do you believe? And you muted yourself, by the way, brother. So
you better be careful. Spotlight hop on here,
And he can't.
Oh boy, never mind.
Guess what, Spotlight?
And remember, I'm still here.
Spotlight. You can be on your way. I promise you, you will not arrive at the destination. Freddie, CJ, he got a collapsed right lung, which to this day, I don't understand how your lung can collapse and you still live. I don't understand.
I don't understand that either.
Like, right? So, okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't bugging because when I hear collapsed lung, I'm like, so is he dying? Like,
my dad's a doctor. He tried to explain it to me, but it's just like very difficult to understand.
Yeah, it's weird. But Freddie, do you believe that the Damian Lillard and Ben Simmons pairing could potentially work?
There's a lot of question marks to me, man. To me, I love him for Philadelphia. Joel Embiid finally gets Kobe because we're going to assume it's going to be CJ. Okay? I mean, that's the only way it work, money wise. So, so he finally gets his, Kobe, a guy that he can give the ball to, where he can go out there and score. He can take over in clutch moments. Joel Embiid don't have to do everything. But now Portland, my question is, where are you putting Ben Simmons? Is he going to be at the point and Dame at the 2?
Nah.
Are you going to put being at the power forward position, which I think he works best at the point guard position, where he can make it easy for Damian Lillard. He can kind of be like that Draymond Green, where Dame can just run around screens and get open for threes and get open for shots. I mean, but the team around them is not, to me, is not built for them to. I mean, I mean, it's just a lot of question marks on Portland side, and I'm just, not sure what what position that they play Dame at.
Mm.
I mean Ben at.
Ben, okay. Ron, let me ask you something. By the way, Joe, you said it's called science. Look it up. So since obviously you have a doctorate, correct? You have a PhD. Please explain in the comments how it's possible. Ron, quick question. Obviously to get Ben Simmons, they would have to either give up CJ or Dame, right? Now they're not going to give up Dame. CJ somehow, some way, I still don't even know how it's going to collapse alone. So right now, his trade value is not good at all. Do you think there's any conceivable way that the Trailblazers can even pull this trade off without giving up Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum?
Absolutely not. It would have happened already. As a native Philadelphia, I speak for all of Philly Nation. Ben, come home. You can come back to Philly.
No.
What you say?
I get. Hold on, real quick, Ron. People are gonna kill you for that, but I will say this: I do believe he should go back. But I'll be honest. I think there's so much friction and so much burning. It's like, you know what I mean? Like the team already is ready to move on, and it's like just to get rid of everything. I would just say just move it on. You know what I mean? But again, what do I know? I still believe Ben Simmons could work.
This is a man that is
It's not going to work. No.
He's never going to play again. He will not play for the Sixers. I just think it's just not in his heart. I just wanted to send an invitation and let him know. But Morey is not trading Ben Simmons unless it's for Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal. End of the story.
Hey, Ron, can I ask you a question? Because you sent out that message to him. Do you believe Philadelphia fans and organization was a little bit too hard on Ben and kind of ran him out?
Oh my God, we're not going through this.
We threw snowballs at Santa Claus. It's just the way it goes in Philly. We did it to AI. We did it to McNabb. If you ain't,
but when are y'all gonna change?
No, you're doing it to Jalen Hurts right now.
Nah, Freddie, they're not going to, though. Because you got to understand, Freddie, this is something that they've been doing for like ever. Like they've always been like Philly is one of the most rabid fan bases.
Change?
They're not going to. I'll be honest. I don't think they're going to. That's like telling Dallas fans to stop being delusional.
Wait a minute.
Let's call it what it is. That's like telling Dallas fans to have legit expectations, like legit, not Super Bowl every season expectations. Like sometimes that's just how the fan base is.
Okay, Dallas fans are delusional. So,
Mitch,
no,
what the hell up?
I'm just saying that, like those fans that think, oh yeah, we're going to Super Bowl every year. I just think it's like that. Like you can't tell them to change. And when it comes to Philadelphia, they're always going to have a rabid fan base that's always like now, especially considering.
I disagree with that.
It doesn't matter if you disagree.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I don't care what you say, pride. I don't care. We don't like that. We're not like that. And I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, when we boo McNabb, because at that time the Eagles didn't need a quarterback at that time. They really wanted to go get Ricky Williams at that time, and they ended up getting Donovan McNabb. Okay, Donovan McNabb was good coming out of Syracuse, understanding. Cool. But when he came in and worked hard and proved himself, we loved him. The thing about Ben Simmons, he never improved the 5 years that he was here. What did he improve the 5? Yeah, understand that he's good defensively, but if you have not improved offensively, how you're going to win in this league, no matter where you're at? That's a fact. You just can't be a defender and not score nothing at all. Andre Iguodala is not a scorer, but he scores when he needs to. Something Ben Simmons don't do. He don't score when he needs to. He gives up the ball.
He averages 15 points per game.
Come on, man. Get out
better.
He barely scores 15 points a game. He barely scores 15 points a game. Barely.
Do better.
do better.
Nothing.
I've never in my life understood this whole notion that all of a sudden Ben Simmons is just I don't understand that. The only flaw he has in his game.
I was never
the only flaw he has in his game is just that he can't shoot. That's the only flaw in his game.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a pretty big flaw, though.
It's a big flaw. It's a very big flaw.
It is a big flaw. I understand that. I get it is a big flaw. Don't get it twisted. But all of a sudden, that doesn't mean he can't orchestrate the offense great. Doesn't mean he can't play defense great. It doesn't matter that he can't rebound great. It doesn't matter that he can't do all these other things great. It's like, yeah, he can't shoot. But at what point do we say, you know what? He does all these other things great. Is he like a phenomenal, Oh, and by the way, you said the point is to shoot. It's just a score. And if Ben Simmons giving you 15 he's giving you 15 points per game efficiently.
Not if you give him 4 in a playoff game.
Pride,
you're not understanding, bro. Pride, you're not. And real quick before I go, Ron, this is why when it comes to Phillies fans, this is why I don't take a lot of them serious. This is why I don't take a lot of them serious.
Oh, wow.
Because they forgot where they came from.
Oh, my God.
They forgot the whole process.
Okay.
Oh, my God, all y'all want. Y'all can say, oh, my God, all y'all want. They forgot the process. They forgot everything. They forgot
we didn't forget the process.
We did not. Oh, my God.
You tell me.
Had a tummy ache.
Hold up.
Every single time Joel Embiid.
Let's be realistic.
Every single time Joel Embiid did not feel like playing. Ben Simmons put the team on his back and handled. So it's like, I don't know why it's fair to crucify the guy. Again, if you want to crucify him for not having a jump shot, that's fine. I'm
not
with
about
that.
crucifying him about
He doesn't have a jump shot.
The thing
But
about
all of a sudden sit here and
this is my thing, Pride.
This is work ethic.
No,
this is work ethic.
That is ridiculous.
This is my thing, Pride. He's worried about playing video games on Twitch than getting in the gym and playing basketball. He's more concerned about cars than playing basketball. We've seen it all year, and I've seen it at LSU when he played there. He couldn't even take them to an NIT as a leader of LSU basketball. Let's just keep it a buck here. He barely averaged 20 points in college. You gotta look at this too. He wasn't even for real out of that draft. He was even supposed to be that high of a pick. Let's be real. It's the Philadelphia 76ers we talking about when it comes to picks. And the best pick that we ever had outside of Joel Embiid was Allen Iverson. Let's just be realistic there. So we're not going to sit here and say, oh, Ben Simmons this and Ben Simmons that. What we're going to say is that, yes, we're asking for Ben Simmons to shoot. But when you're wide open, just take the attempt. That's it. I don't care if you miss it. Just attempt the jump shot. That's it.
Real quick.
Just attempt it.
Cool. You said, how did Ben Simmons, and this is just one game when he put up, what was it, 40 on Rudy Gobert?
That's the only game.
That's regular season. Who
That's one game. That's one game.
That's regular season.
That's regular season to get an all-star nod.
I said that's one game. If you look at his stats when Embiid's not playing, everything is up. Everything is up. Everything. So don't sit here and tell me, oh yeah, it was one game.
It's regular season. Who cares? Who cares?
Hold on, coach.
About 42.
All right, coach. So by your logic, then
Aaron
Fox is dog shit because he has done nothing in the playoffs. Do you see?
Throughout the last 4 years, obviously he lost to the same team. Throughout the last 4 years, obviously the game plan is
Ben Simmons, bro. Y'all just dumb.
Why was he? I'm gonna tell you this.
No, hold
Why was he on the bench?
Hold up, Dante. Why you think they moved the MVP award back after the playoffs instead of the regular season? Why you think they did that? Because the regular season don't freaking matter. It doesn't.
That makes no sense because the MVP award is not a postseason award. It's a regular season award.
It's an all-year award.
It's not.
They announced the MVP while they in the playoffs, right? Why they
because they wait for
the
last game of the regular season. It's a regular season award, and then after that is when they do everything in terms of like the voting and all that stuff. They wait for the entire regular season.
Bro, nobody really cares about what you're doing.
What you're doing in
regular season don't mean shit.
Let me ask you a question.
That's for football and that's for basketball. What you're doing in regular season don't mean nothing.
Let's say Steph Curry, who right now is one of the front runners to win the MVP, right? He has a great season, right? Let's say something happens and he ends up being dog shit in the first round. He had a rough series. Are you going to take that MVP from him? Because supposedly now it's to
But you're
every
not
award, right?
But my thing
But-
is,
but-
they
come
moved
on, bro.
the
Make
MVP
sense
award
now.
back. The NBA moved the MVP award back. They used to give it to the players before the playoffs started. Now they extended it because of the playoffs. They want to
It's
see what
not-
they
no,
can do in the
it's not
playoffs.
for the-
They
I'm gonna
want
put it this
to
way.
see what
I'm
you
gonna put
can
it this
do
way.
in the
I'm gonna put
regular
it this
season
way.
and in the
I'm
playoffs.
gonna put it
It's
to this way.
both.
I'm gonna put it to
It's
this way.
both.
If you believe that the MVP award is not a regular season award and it's a playoff award,
I'm not saying it is.
I'm just not.
I'm not saying it.
Because
What I'm
that
saying
is that is just like a special
What I'm
level
saying-
of lunacy.
I'm
That is a
saying
special
it's
level
for
of lunacy.
both.
Because then by your logic, if you don't make
You
the
don't
playoffs,
listen.
you're not-
You
you're
don't
not
listen.
MVP
I said
contention.
it's for both.
You're not in
I
that.
said it's for
No,
both.
it's a regular
It
season
is.
award.
Why do you think they
Period.
pushed it back? Why do you think they pushed it back?
It's a regular season award. I've never in my life heard the reason Giannis won the MVP was because of that first round of the playoffs.
Why did they push the MVP award back?
So that way it can be the entire regular
Why?
season.
Why?
So it could be the entire regular season. That's the part you're neglecting. What they did was they cut it off, and the last part of the regular
doesn't
season
matter
didn't
anyway.
really count for the
Ben Simmons
MVP
would never
award.
win MVP
And it
in
was
this league
unfair
anyway.
because there were
We was
some
on Ben
guys
Simmons.
who was getting
We was
hot
on
towards
Ben-
the end
we was
who
on Ben
could
Simmons
potentially
anyway.
done it.
So if I take this L, they'll say this: Ben Simmons will never win an MVP in this league. That's a fact. So with that being said, let's move on.
Who said he was going to?
Hey, I
He
got
never
a question.
will.
I got a
will.
question. Hey, I got
He
a
never
question.
will.
Who
He's
said he was
garbage.
Hey,
I-
let Dante
I-
speak.
Why if Ben Simmons was actually why is Tyrese Maxey in the game in game 6?
Averaging
And Ben Simmons was on the
way
bench.
more than Ben Simmons.
Why
Because
Tyrese
of
Maxey
the
was in
jump
the game
shot.
on
And I hold on.
when they came back
Because
to
of
one
the
game?
jump
So
shot.
why he was in the game?
It's because of the jump shot. And I agree
Tyrese
with you.
Maxey-
Okay,
Because
man.
of the jump shot. Scared to go
A
to the
jump
rim.
shot,
That's
you
bad.
jump shot, you last
I'm
longer than
with
me.
you with it's bad. I am with you when y'all tell me Ben Simmons don't got a jump shot. That's horrible. I'm with y'all there. My point is that then doesn't mean you can say he's dog shit and ignore everything else he does. That's my only point.
Outside of playing defense, what else he does effectively on offense besides give you assists? What's outside of that? What else does he do offensively?
Rebounds. He gets his teammates
He
wide
barely
open
does.
shots.
He barely does that now. He did it in his early.
He doesn't do it now because he's not playing.
Yeah, because he's hot garbage. He's
What are you talking about?
He's an overly paid player. He's an overly paid player. He's not an all-star. He's not that great.
He
Stop.
is garbage.
He's not an
Yeah.
all-star. He's
Here,
not.
let me say
hot
something
dog.
here.
He's only
Yeah,
a
let me
first
say
half
this.
player. He's only
Go
a
ahead,
first half
Go ahead,
player.
Mitch.
Hold on. The only thing that bothers me about Ben Simmons is his accountability, his work
you.
ethic.
Thank
His
you.
work ethic is the worst. Look at Giannis. He just shot like what? What's his 3-point percentage now? Like a 34, 35?
It's probably less than
He
that.
didn't-
And
he
again,
didn't have
No,
one coming
no.
into
It
the
was
league
higher
either.
than Chris Middleton in one game. So you tell me when Ben Simmons has a higher 3-point percentage than Chris Middleton. Oh, wait.
I mean, if you can't take a team to the NCAA tournament, or even an INT tournament, that shows a lot
Yeah,
about
he
you as a
can't bring-
player.
he
If you
can't take
can't do
it to
that.
an
And then he
NCAA
didn't want to go to
tournament
class
or
in
NIT
college. Come on now. Ben Simmons didn't want to go to class in college.
Exactly.
Actually. Come
Yeah.
on now. That shows,
Right. I told you
shows
that.
something about
Ben
that.
Simmons was not. Ben Simmons was not a
It's
great
really
college
not
player, and he's
good.
not a great professional
you
player
guys will
because
sit
he has
here
not
and say
improved.
all
All
this
we
shit
asking
about
for him
Ben
for Philly
Simmons, act
fans,
like he doesn't
all we
deserve to
asking
be
for
in the
him is to
I
improve,
don't know.
and that's something that he has not
I
done.
don't know.
Ben
Thank you.
Simmons is a defensive player.
That's
But
it.
he's
Yeah.
also,
That's it.
my thing is, even with his laid back attitude, it could work if he's not the number one guy. That's fine. I think Ben Simmons could still be a top 3 player on the team, and they have some success. He's a top 2, and they had
How?
success.
It will be a 4-on-5. It will be a 4-on-5.
Offensively, yes, it would be. You're right. And like
I'm
I said,
not taking
that
that
is a
risk
problem
again
he
after
needs to
5
work on his
years.
shot. And I understand that, Mitch. He does need to work on his shot. I'm not taking that from
It's
him
more
at
than
all.
just a shot that he has to
It's
work
more
on
than a freaking
offensively.
shot.
It's more than
Okay,
just
so
a
what
shot.
else offensively? What else offensively? What else?
He needs to stop being scared going to the fucking rack. What do you
Which
mean?
shooter?
Yeah, he's got a confidence.
He's
in-
53%
gotta
from
look at
the
his
free throw
Confidence
line.
going to the rack.
He
Yes,
shoots
he
Greg
does.
53% from the free throw line.
He gets
Let's
the
be
ball.
honest, Ben Simmons lost confidence in the playoffs. That's why he didn't want to go to the rack. Ben Simmons lost his confidence in the playoffs, and he was scared to shoot the damn ball. So he's got a lot more issues than just
Every
shooting.
single
He's got
time he
mental
dribbles,
mental
every
issues
single
as
time he
well.
dribbles, he gets
Hey,
blamed
Jay.
for it.
Hey,
He gets
Jay,
blamed
even
for
though
dribbling
he-
wrong. Ben Simmons
Hey, Jack, even though that he gets to the free throw line, he still can't make foul shots. That's another offensive problem that he has.
All that goes into shooting. All that goes into shooting. One more
but
time.
Still, when you drop,
cannot hear me. All that goes into SHOOTING, shooting.
But you got to drop to the basket and get the foul shot, right?
Outside of shooting.
Hold up, you're 6'10", almost 7 foot. And you got a little handle. I want to say he has the best handle. He has a little handle, and he drops to the basket. But the thing about it is, when he's wide open, he just dishes out. Bro, you're wide open. Dunk with somebody. Get me some aggression. Something. I come from playing Philly ball, and Philly ball, we don't shoot the basketball. We go to the rack. That's what we do. We go to the rack in Philly basketball when we play out there in the streets. And that's what we want. We want our players from Philadelphia. We want somebody to drive to the basket. Not just drive to the basket and just shoot it. Get the foul. Get the damn foul. Stop bitching. That's the problem with Ben Simmons. He's a bitch.
Let me just say this.
Ayo, Ron, real quick before I let Trey go, because Trey looked like he about to shoot through the screen.
Wait, can I just say something real quick?
That he said that when meanwhile you got Joel Embiid flopping so hard he injures himself. I'm just throwing that out there real quick. So again,
just let me say
but
this.
But Joel Embiid is an MVP caliber player. What is Ben Simmons?
This dude is
He's an MVP caliber player, but what is Ben Simmons?
Go ahead, Mitch.
Let me say this. Tell me when there's a basketball player or a basketball player that doesn't have a basketball hoop at his own house. What kind of basketball player does that? Please, someone explain that to me.
I'm pretty sure there'll be a couple.
Oh,
I'll be honest. I don't think all of them do that. I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of the dudes, like Devin Booker, I wouldn't be surprised he doesn't have one at his house because he's the type of dude. He does.
I think so.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't because Devin Booker to me seems like the type of dude that he'll literally force 10 guys to play. Like Devin Booker to me doesn't really
because they have the respect for him. They don't have the respect for Ben Simmons now.
The league doesn't have respect for Ben Simmons. That's why he hasn't been traded. What you mean?
Right. It has absolutely nothing to do. It has absolutely nothing to do with the contract. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact of what the 76ers want in trade.
They don't want a one-sided player.
Herbs.
Come on, man.
Even out
of the Sacramento Kings, and the Kings is trash, and they don't even want him. Come on, man. Sacramento Kings don't even want him, and the Kings is trash.
Go ahead, Trey.
What was the question, Pod? I'm sorry.
He's laughing. Nah, bro. Because listen, bro. It's just funny because the only people who say he's trash are like
real Philly fans
who were like
real Philly fans
because oh my goodness gracious, we should have won.
Philly grit.
So
until you can't see it, you'll see it.
Do you think Dame and Ben Simmons could legitimately work?
Yes, I do. Simply because if you put them together, Ben Simmons is a non-shooting. At this point, Ben Simmons is a non-shooting guard, which means now you eliminate. Now Dame has the opportunity to operate as such, you know what I'm saying, be that number one as he is without the going back and forth because, of course, right now, him and CJ fight in the backcourt for points. You know what I'm saying, who's going to shoot what is understood that it allows, in my opinion, it allows Ben Simmons to be effective in doing what he does. He doesn't need to shoot when you got a bunch of shooters on his team. You don't need to shoot. He can do what he does as a 6'10" point guard, distribute, get rebounds, and work the mid range or the paint. That's just my opinion. So no, he's not trash.
Thank you. Before I pass it on, I just
oh my god!
Again, I swear until y'all come to.
But is it really gonna matter? Is it really gonna matter when the GM?
Be scared. That's fine. You can be scared. Meanwhile, nobody was disrespecting Ben Simmons when he was helping y'all be the number one seed.
But it's all that really gonna matter.
When all that was happening, nobody was saying Ben Simmons was trash. Ben Simmons was nobody was saying that. So I'm just throwing that out there.
There's people that didn't want him.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you this. I do genuinely believe that Damian Lillard and Ben Simmons could work, and the reason being was because Dame is a point guard who loves to shoot threes. So that in and of itself kind of already puts him in a position where when you need a bucket, you can just give the ball to Dame. The only stipulation I have is that Simmons is gonna have to, and I was talking with Mike about this last night. Ben Simmons is gonna have to either play the 3 or the 4. Like if I'm the Trailblazers, I have this conversation with him before that, and I tell him you need to play the 3 or the 4. And on top of that, You're gonna have to understand something. We're gonna have to work on something. And again, he doesn't need a shot. Me personally, I would just have him have some type of post game. Yeah, he has a little bit of a post game. He's got something.
He got a little hook shot, but he don't utilize it enough.
And if
the hook shot that hits the backboard.
What happened, Mitch?
The hook shot that hits the backboard. Is that the hook shot we're talking about?
I mean,
no, but it's all right.
One thing I can say about the hook shot is more effective than him shooting the damn basketball behind the 3-point line. I'd rather him be down there in the post and bullying people at the 4 instead of shooting the basketball. I'd rather that.
I agree with that, but it just hits the backboard.
No, it doesn't.
That's what it's called improvement. The question is Ben Simmons is going to want to improve and be a number 4? Because there's been times with Doc Rivers, it's been times with Brett Brown wanted him to play the 4 in certain situations, and he did not want to do it and still push the ball up.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's why I said there's a few issues.
He's going to because he doesn't want to be in Philly no more. He doesn't want this. If he don't want to be in Philly and he goes somewhere else and they tell him, look, bro, you're gonna have to play a little bit at the 4. I think he'll say, yeah, all right, I'll do it. Just for the fact because he's out of Philly.
I disagree.
Again,
he don't want to put the work in behind the lights, and that's the problem. He don't want to put the work in behind the lights. Until he wants to put the work in and wants to improve himself as an individual player, then I can see that. But I can see him going to any team right now and being like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to do what I want because I'm Ben Simmons and I'm making all this money. That's exactly what I'm getting from him at this point.
It's just incredible.
You know what's funny though?
The Sixers are better without him anyway.
Yeah, thank you.
We are. But you got it, coach. You got it, coach. You got it.
You know what's funny though? The funniest thing is that where was I going with this fuck?
At the end of the day, Mitch. At the end of the day, Mitch, when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers, right? We have our future guard in Tyrese Maxey that make this offense more flow than what Ben Simmons was here. Because another thing about Ben Simmons, he don't move without the basketball as a guard. So that's another improvement that he has to get on. It's a lot of improvements with I thought he would come in and improve coming out of college. But he looked like shit. He looked like shit in college. And I was like, okay, I do not want this guy. And everybody was the city. And I'm not going to say me because I didn't want Ben Simmons coming out of college because I see so many better players coming out of that draft that was better than Ben Simmons. And that's a fact. So my thing was that I'm like, when I told everybody, I told my dad, I told my mom, I told a lot of people when I did 76ers content. I said when Ben Simmons come here, he's not going to do nothing because he's just not that good. And it showed the last 5 years. What do Ben Simmons do? He played good the first half of the NBA season to get an All-Star nod. After the All-Star nod, he's nowhere to be found. It's the APP, it's the AAP for him every single year for Ben Simmons. And this what make why do you how he said how can y'all say he's not garbage but he only plays a half a season? Exactly. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly by that.
But maybe the better question is where does Damian Lillard go? Because that GM has already talked about possibly blowing up the team. So really, does Ben Simmons even matter? Because if they blow up the team, Damian Lillard is probably going to be going somewhere else anyway.
Well, but here's how I look at that. If you trade and get Ben Simmons, I give it a year. I would give it a year, and I would say, look, we need to make at least the second round of the playoffs. And if we lose, we cannot get swept. It needs to be competitive. It needs to be a tough 7-game series. And if we can go somewhere from here, great. If not, we got to blow it up. And that's assuming they get Ben Simmons.
Blazers won't make the second round with Ben Simmons. Hell no. Hell no.
Not in no Western Conference.
No,
absolutely not.
They won't even
5.
I think they potentially could.
8 and 4
Willen
points.
is not even a playoff team. Even when the Ben Simmons, they're not even a playoff team. The West is still too strong for them. And then again, they don't. What shooting does they have on Portland? Nasir Little, can he shoot? I don't think so. Can't still afford. No bench.
Portland's
they have no bench. I mean, Robert Covington.
I'm not saying they're going to.
He can really shoot.
And if you're gonna do something again in his 30s, or is he all of a sudden 37? Like he's still playing at a great level. Yeah, this is technically a career down for him, but these are stats any player in the league would kill for.
But let me ask you this, real quick: would you guys trade right now, Philly fans? Would you trade Maxey for Damian Lillard right now? Would you guys do that right now for Dame?
I don't. Right now. And listen, one thing.
I would do it
I'm gonna say
in an
this.
instant.
But that's the thing, though. We're not going. I wouldn't trade Maxey. That's one thing I won't do. But if you're going to get for Damian Lillard, we're going to have to get more than Damian Lillard. We're going to have to give up more for Damian Lillard. We're not just able to trade Maxey for Damian
I'm
Lillard.
just using that as a hypothetical.
And that's going to kind of like help out. That's not going to really help out our team if we got to put in a crazy package deal for only one player. So trading Maxey right now, and he's playing at a high level, I think I wouldn't do it right now. I wouldn't do it.
And on top of that, you really got to think about it. Are you willing to give up?
You got to think about Matisse Thybulle. You got to think about
not only that, we're talking about the future because Maxey he looks good now, and it's like if he just gives you half of this going for the rest of his career, do you really want to give that up?
Do you want to risk that?
But you need that superstar though. That's what you need. That second player.
You do it, then you do it, then you don't. I mean, but the thing about it is like with the Sixers. One thing about Philadelphia in general, and I know I'm not an Eagles fan, but I am a Sixers fan. One thing about Philadelphia, we don't spend money on nobody. We don't. We have all the money in the world when it comes to cap space for NFL, NBA. We don't go out and get nobody. That's
we did get Jimmy Butler, then that flopped.
And we got Jim. Yeah, we got him in a trade, and he did not resign. You know why?
Ben Simmons.
Let's be real.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but Brett Brown has something to do to that as well.
Right.
But when it comes to Philadelphia, no matter if it's the Philadelphia Eagles or the Flyers or the Sixers or anybody, we don't like to spend money on players that's superstars right now. We get them at the tail end of their career, and then we think they still want to be what they are. That's the problem with Philadelphia, period.
Yeah, I agree, but we just need something. Getting tired of waiting.
I'm not trading my future.
And I get what you're saying, Mitch, but for like trading Maxey, the only way I personally would trade Maxey is if you get a guy like De'Aaron Fox or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like young for young. That's me where I would do that.
I would do that too, Pride.
Outside of that, I would kind of just wait, or a Luka. You know what I mean? Something like that. I mean, I know that wouldn't happen, but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't do it in a win now situation when the Sixers aren't a win now. They're kind of in this weird purgatory stage because before they even find out, they want to trade Ben Simmons, see what they get, and then see, all right, are we in a win now mode, or are we just a piece or two away or whatever? So me personally, I'm not thinking about. I'm trading Thybulle before I trade Maxey. That's just me, and I like them both.
I say the same thing about Matisse Thybulle too. He got to get a better offensive game.
Yeah, he does.
His offensive game is not that great either. And I say the same thing for Matisse Thybulle, even though he's a great defender, but offensively, he really is our Achilles heel on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years. I've been saying that for a while now. I mean,
I love that you guys just don't have that same energy. It's crazy to me. You know?
No, I mean, because we had Ben Simmons for 5 years and we have not seen an improvement. That's where we're starting to get fed up.
Tell me when he becomes Giannis. Tell me when he becomes like a Giannis.
He's not going to become a Giannis.
I know, that's exactly my point.
No, because the play style
you can't make that comparison.
Yeah,
that's a ridiculous comparison.
Yeah, that's a horrible comparison.
That's all.
Because Giannis
I'm talking about the work ethic, not the play style. I'm talking about the work ethic. I'm not talking about the work ethic.
Compare that. That's ridiculous. Sit down in the corner.
You can't, Mitch. You can't. No matter if it's the work ethic or not, you just can't.
No,
come on.
I'm the only reason I say that in terms of work ethic is because look, in terms of work ethic, Giannis came. There's like
Giannis came out scrawny as hell.
Yeah,
a skinny little young boy.
And on top of that, he came. You know what I mean? Like he really wasn't the richest dude in the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like so, there's that element behind it. Same thing with Jimmy Butler. You know, homeboy was homeless, and he had a movement with his boy and all that stuff. Like that kind of what leads to the work ethic. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
So with a guy like Ben Simmons,
Ben Simmons the way he is because he's a spoiled brat.
He's been baby throughout his whole career.
Everything was given to him. He didn't
free Ben Simmons.
Nothing.
I'm just throwing that out there. Free Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, bro. I'm a Republican defender, bro. I got your back. You know what I mean? They
All right,
forgot
I got
the
a question
process.
for you then, Pride.
You know what I mean? The
I got a
Sixers fans, they
question for you,
forgot when they
Pride.
were dog shit and they were the
I got a
worst team
question
in
for
the
you,
NBA.
Pride.
They
I
forgot
got a
about
question
that.
for you, Pride. So do you feel
Moving
like
on to the NFL, because I'm not
I have
talking
a
about this
question.
anymore.
I have a quick question.
Moving
before
on to
we
the
move on.
NFL, $1 million question. Which
has
is more
something to do with the
important? Which is
NFL,
more
too.
impressive? No, because Spotlight, I'm not arguing with you no more because at this
No,
point,
it wasn't an
all
argument.
you're
It
gonna do
wasn't an
is
argument.
complain that Ben Simmons is trash.
No,
You're only
no,
gonna
no.
say, "Oh,
It
he's
wasn't even
horrible,
that.
he's
It
dog
wasn't
shit, he's
even
not worth to
that.
breathe." All this
It
stuff.
wasn't even
You're gonna
that.
ignore
I was
every
asking you
other
about
good
a
thing he does,
comparison.
and
I
the
was
only
asking you
flaw
about a
he has is the
comparison,
shooting.
and that's why you don't
And instead
listen.
of saying, "Yeah, that's a problem,"
I'm
he does bring
asking-
other stuff. He's a solid player. Instead of doing that, the only
I'm
point
not
you bring
saying
up,
none of that.
you
That's why you
basically
don't
say he's a
listen
poor
as a
shooter
kid. As a
15
little
different
boy,
times
you're
and try to
not
pretend that's
listening.
15 problems you found with
You're
him.
not listening.
So
You're
I'm
not
not playing
listening.
this game with you
It
at
was a
all.
comparison,
If
but
you want to
okay.
get mad at
It
Ben
was a
Simmons,
comparison.
get
Okay.
mad at him.
It was a
Free
comparison.
Ben.
Okay.
That's my dude. I'm going to
It
buy
was
a
a
Ben Simmons
comparison.
jersey,
It
and I'm
was
going
a
to wear it
comparison.
tomorrow just
It
to
was a
get you tight.
comparison.
Which
It
is
was
more
a
impressive,
comparison, but okay.
Ron? Let me start with you. Which is more impressive? New England winning 7 games in a row, Miami's 5-game winning streak, or Kansas City's 5-game winning streak?
New England, without a doubt, especially if they're doing it without a quarterback.
Whoa!
Shout out,
Hold on, let me ask you a question, Ron.
Wow.
Did you say without a quarterback? I want you to explain what you mean by that. Are you saying that Mac Jones is his dog shit? Or are you saying that, he's just kind of a cog in the system?
Yeah, he's 2 for 3. That should explain it all. He's a system quarterback.
And 50-mile-per-hour wins, brother.
I mean, the opposite side of the field, Josh Allen threw it like 30 times.
And only completed 15 passes.
And lost.
I didn't say he's a system quarterback without an arm.
What? Joe.
Wait, hold on. Say that one more time.
Say that again? Did I hear that
He
right?
is literally comparing him to when Tom Brady first came in the NFL, where he was not Tom Brady. He was a system quarterback without an arm.
So you're saying right now Mac Jones is a system quarterback?
1,000%.
Okay.
That's funny. That's funny because even in that Monday night game,
why Bill likes him.
I will accept you saying that. I do low-key feel like there's a little bit of Mac disrespect. It's almost as if you're implying that he's dog shit.
No. Because he on the knowledge, he's probably more advanced than a lot of people. He can understand instructions. He does things well. He listens. He doesn't make the big mistake. He's not going to turn it over late in the game. He's not trash. He's just nothing jumps off the table about Mac Jones.
Okay. All right. I'll accept that.
Go ahead. I would accept that too, but you got to think about it. Mac Jones is one of those type of quarterbacks that can give your team a Super Bowl. You don't have to be elite to win a Super Bowl. That's one thing about Mac Jones, because outside of Patrick Mahomes, outside of Tom Brady, and all these elite quarterbacks in the last 10 years, when was the last time we saw an elite quarterback outside of Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes win a Super Bowl?
So Joe Flacco won one. Joe Flacco won one.
Nick Foles won
not
one.
elite either. Joe Flacco's not elite, so we're not going to say
no, he's not. Nick
Foles.
Foles. Nick Foles.
Nick Foles not elite. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying as far as Mac Jones, yes, he got in the right system, but going back to that Monday night game, even though he only threw 3 passes, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Bills couldn't stop the one run play that the Patriots was running all night long. It was one play, and the Bills could not stop it.
Over.
Exactly. So you really can't blame Mac Jones for the Monday night game where it ain't broke, don't fix it. If I was a coach, I'd run that same play into the Bills, stop it too. Shit. But Mac Jones and the Patriots, a lot of people didn't think Mac Jones would be in this position that he is right now coming out the draft. They did not expect that. They didn't. They thought that Cam Newton was going to be the quarterback going into the season. They thought that he was going to be a backup. And boom, Cam Newton got released and Mac Jones took the reins. Yep. That's exactly what happened. And I don't think that he has to stand out. The guy is getting the job done. He's winning games. That's all that matters.
He's not turning the ball over, that's for sure. He's keeping the ball on the offense. And if you don't do turnovers, that gives your offense a chance. He follows Bill Belichick's system, and he doesn't turn the ball over. What more do you want?
That's his greatest asset. But how do you feel at the end of the day when you're talking about the quarterback of your NFL team you watch every Sunday? You're like, damn, I'm so happy he don't turn the ball over.
Easy. Well, I understand what you're saying.
I'd be happy with that. I'd be ecstatic if he didn't turn the damn ball over because then I got opportunities to win the freaking game.
Right.
Man,
And on top of that,
he has a
balanced Ron,
offense.
and here's where and listen, I'm a New England Patriots fan, right? I thought Cam was gonna start for about 4 games. I thought he was gonna start for a few games until Bill Belichick felt comfortable with Matt Jones. And then Cam was going to be benched, and then Mac was going to take over the starting job. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too,
right? And that's what a lot of people thought. That was the genuine
consensus.
The general. There it is. Words are hard for me. I'm half stupid this morning. But that was the general consensus that Cam was going to play for 4 games, give Mac Jones some time, and then the closer they got to the 4 games, Cam was going to start taking less of the starter snaps. Then Mac Jones was going to come in.
Right.
And you asked Ron, you were like, oh, why what quarterback would you praise that he's not turning the ball over? The part that you're kind of forgetting, the kid is a rookie. He's a rookie, and dare I say, you're not seeing a lot of rookie mistakes. If we're gonna be honest, like he's not.
You want to know why though, Pride?
Go ahead.
The reason why he's not making rookie mistakes because he has 2 running backs that can run for 100 yards on any given Sunday.
Oh,
that makes it balanced. That makes the offense balanced. So that means that makes the offense balanced, and it makes less pressure for a rookie quarterback.
But he still has to make the right reads. He's still making the right reads. He's
still making the right reads. But I'm saying, as far as a running game, a lot of rookie quarterbacks.
No, but you're not giving Mac Jones credit for that.
Yeah,
you're taking the credit away from him. That's
and I'll tell you why. Hold on, Spotlight. Hold on. Let me explain to you why. Because I do get your point in terms of having 2 running backs that can both.
I think it's just a balanced offense. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, and I will balance. That
it is a balanced offense, but you still got to make the right reads, even in a balanced offense.
Right, and here's the thing. What I say about Mac. Like, my thing with him is Mac Jones never, ever. You go back to his college days. Never try to be Superman. Right. And that is one thing in this league you desperately need. Mac Jones comes out and goes, "You need me? I'm not throwing the ball. Okay, that's all right, coach. I'm good. I got it. This is the new way I throw the ball. Just handing it off." Mac was like, "It is what it is." Now people are killing him because he went 2 for 3. People are killing him for that. My thing is, what about before that though? Does that kind of negate everything else? Like
he was having 300-yard games like the last couple games, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So to me, it's like I don't want to say this one game, which by the way, Mac Jones has not played in this type of condition before with 50 mile per hour with Tyler, their kicker. I think his name's Tyler Bass, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Bills kicker. He missed a 31-yard field goal. And it wasn't his fault. When he kicked it, that thing was going perfect, and the wind literally took it. The wind took it, and it ended up just being off.
Weather played a big part in the game.
Right. So it's like, why are you gonna sit here and throw the ball when you have 2 capable running backs? And me personally,
that ran the same play over and over again.
Listen, bro, I can run the same play, and you're not stopping it, bro. Guess what? If this is Madden, I'm holding triangle. No huddle. I'm gonna keep on going.
3rd down. Josh Allen had 5 end zone attempts to try and win the game. The Patriots absolutely need to throw the ball that game. They got lucky. They escaped.
No, they didn't get lucky.
They didn't get lucky. They were running the ball for yardage, like lots of
They didn't
yards.
get lucky. They didn't get lucky.
They ran 222 yards. They ran for 222 yards.
Yeah, before I let you go, Spotlight, hold on real quick, because I want to say this. The entire Bills team ran the ball in conditions like that, by the way, which is when you should be running the ball. It's kind of the same thing when it's like extremely snowy. You're not going to really throw the ball like that. You're going to run the ball, right? They ran the ball 24 times. Stevenson, our running back, got 24 carries. Our one running back got one less carry than the entire team. And on top of that, we're also acting like Bill Belichick. And if y'all watch him, what was he doing the whole time? Okay. Run it again. Wait for it. Run it again. Looking at the clock. It's not our fault that Sean McDermott don't know clock management. That's not our fault. It's not our fault that he decided to have Josh Allen throw the ball to the point that a couple of the balls, really, the wind took it, and it looked wild. That's not
maybe the Bills should have developed a run game.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's the problem with Buffalo. We've been saying it all year with Buffalo. They don't have a running game, and that's going to be their kryptonite when it goes to the playoffs.
But you can't criticize New England for running the ball when that's the formula. And if it ain't broken, why
in that bad weather?
That's what you do.
In that bad weather, that's the formula, right?
New England ran for
I understand how you when you have no wideouts and you got a full, you know it's a run play with the fullback in front of the running back. You know damn well they're going to run it right up the. Why aren't you stacking the box? Why aren't you playing this day? And the crazy thing is, Sean McDermott is a defensive-minded coach. He should have known that.
That's the part that blows my mind. That's the part that really blows my mind. His whole thing was like he's a defensive stopper and he's great and all that stuff. And it's like you're literally still
sitting back.
They're lining up in the same formation. They did the same play twice in a row. Why aren't you stacking the box at some point?
You got to put 9 in there.
That blew my mind. That blew my mind a lot because it's like, again, it's not that difficult. You have a rookie quarterback. You're playing against a rookie quarterback that has not played in conditions like this. I think Spotlight, you said it. 2 running backs who we literally who we were blessed enough to stumble into. And all of a sudden, Harris is injured, but he out here still giving me 20, 25-yard runs, gimping up a storm, and he's still outrunning some of their corners. Still,
me and Dante can relate, Pride. Me and Dante can relate. This is pure Pop Warner what the Patriots did.
Yeah, bro.
It was pure Pop Warner.
Pop Warner, every single play, same play, can't stop it. Same play, can't stop it. Same play. They ran for 220 yards, and it's not the Patriots' fault that Josh Allen can't make the right play and make the right read. You literally had one-on-one coverage across the board. They literally blitzed the Devin McCourty twins and the linebackers. Cole Beasley wide open running over the middle, and Josh Allen did not make the right read.
And we said
that it was a good play call, but Josh Allen did not execute the play right. And then that safety just came off Cole Beasley and saw where Josh Allen was going. Josh Allen was going. Then he came off an open receiver to get in front of a pass. Come on now.
But back to the question of who's had the better winning streak right now. And I'm gonna say the New England Patriots because you got to think about what they did what this organization did with Mac Jones, going out and getting receivers for him, going out and getting tight ends for him. They're developing Damian Harrison and Stevenson, and they went out and helped and got him a defense with one of the leaders in Matthew Judon back there. So this organization has a lot to do with Mac Jones' success and why they're at right now, because they put a lot of veterans around Mac Jones, which a lot of rookie quarterbacks don't have. They don't have that. So that's why I feel like right now Mac Jones and the Patriots, they have the best winning streak because he's the only rookie that's really doing it right now.
Yep, and I'm there with you. And my thing before I pass it over to Trey. Obviously, I have the Patriots. I thought someone's going to yell at me for being biased because, I came out here. Spotlight, you missed it yesterday. When my New England Patriots won, I don't care how dirty it was. I had the jersey on and everything. I was a fool.
I was watching. I just couldn't.
Spotlight, I was a fool.
I saw it.
I was so much of a fool. I almost fought someone in the chat. That's how much of a fool I was, bro.
Yeah, I heard.
Hey, I was a fool, bro. I was a fool. Trey was just staring through the camera like, yo, get this dumbass kid out of here, yo. Like Trey almost punched me. Swear to God, he almost punched me. He was this close, bro. Swear to God, I'm safe because I was home.
I would have pulled up. If I would have known in time. I would have pulled up.
See, this is.
I would have if I got the link.
Bro, this is. But it's in the group chat every morning. Open invite. I don't want no one yelling at me. Don't hit me, Dad. I'm being a good boy. But I will say this. I do believe that it's the Patriots. We started 2-4, and now all of a sudden we're the number 1 seed in the AFC. Look, and for me, what I really like about it is I can come out here By the way, while all y'all disrespected Mac Jones, over 67% completion percentage when we played the Bills. 67%. Like a QBR of over 80, which I think should have been higher, but it was like 84, 86, something like that. A rookie doing that, and you saw that dot to Jonnu Smith. Ooh,
you're talking about in the first game that they played, right?
No, I'm talking about the one we just played, boy. And
that was the first game.
You saw that, dude? Yeah, that was the first game because we got.
Stop it, Pride. You didn't throw the ball enough for that percentage to even matter. Stop it, Pride. Stop it. I'm not gonna let you do that, Pride. You throw the ball a reputable amount of times. That's 67%. That 67% don't mean
J-Mac.
Stop it, Pride.
J-Mac, let him live, man. Let him live. Let him live, man.
I'm just saying, I was acting.
I throw the ball one time. I got 100% completion rate.
Bro, I was acting a fool. I came in here, I was like, hey, yo, y'all saw that? Like, this dude was just, he was wheeling and dealing. But we all know it was the run game. Like, we all know it was the run game. Again, like you said, like, come on, bro. If we out here running the same run play 3 times in a row and getting double-digit yards every single time, it's like at some point, Sean,
it was ridiculous.
Bro, when that happened, if I'm Sean McDermott, I call a timeout. Because something is not wrong. Something is wrong there.
Yeah, something's got to give.
Yeah, something.
I was so sad because Buffalo was my defense, and I wanted New England to get their asses beat. But no, I had to watch my fantasy hoops go down in miraculous flames.
Give me 1 second.
That was true. When it came, like I had Mac Jones.
Oh man! I dropped something. Oh my bad! I dropped. Sorry guys. I dropped me a little something. So I just had to pick it up because we don't drop excellence. Excellence. That's what we are right now. And by the way, look here. Before anyone says that we're not going to win the Super Bowl, let me live, dog. You feel me? This is the best success I've had since Tom Brady left me. All right.
That was 2 years ago.
And listen, look here. It's been a long 2 years, bro. Listen, that 7 and 9 year, bro. It was tough. It was hard. I
wish we could go 7 and 9.
Bro, well, at least the Patriots is doing something right. Unlike my Raiders, my Raiders is garbage.
Look at this. Look at that.
Shit.
Unlike my Eagles.
Hey, by the way, with the Ravens secondary now pretty much officially depleted and gone, I'm gonna downgrade the Ravens making the playoffs, and if they do make the playoffs, it's not gonna last long.
We're not.
You can't last long without a damn secondary.
Look, you know what?
As a Raiders,
what you gonna do without a secondary?
No, but Spotlight's admitting it though. He's admitting it. I give him props. He's admitting it.
We're not making the playoffs. We're dumpster fire, bro.
Yeah, you can't go nowhere without a damn secondary.
I felt like Mr. T.
Listen,
bro, Mitch.
You only scoring. We went from scoring 30 point plus a game to 15 points against the Washington football team, bro. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. We're only going to win one more game this season, and that's it. And that's probably against the Browns. Probably we lose that game too. Who knows? No, but the Raiders ain't going to nobody's playoffs. So that's it right there.
I'm a real quick. I just want to address two things. So Mitch. So this comment right here, bro, I was getting violated yesterday, bro. They called me Mr. T.
I saw it for like
somebody
a little
called
bit.
me Kimbo. They said I look like Kimbo. Kimbo Slice. I was like,
God, oh my,
the chat was violating.
He said that was loud.
I do get excited when the Celtics play. I do. However, they have been disappointing me this season, so I kind of gotta watch.
You lost to the Lakers.
And the Red Sox, you missed it, bro. Because I was a mess when we made the ALC. I was like, and then we lost, and then I got depressed. But no, bro, come baseball season, you finna see.
Right, at least you lost to a better team, though. You rather lose to a team than them sorry ass Yankees. You rather lose to that.
I'm with you there. You know what? I'm with you there. Fuck the Yankees. Trey, let me ask you something.
Yes,
what do you think is more impressive? The greatest organization that ever graced God's green earth, led by the greatest head coach ever, Bill Belichick, former home of the greatest quarterback to ever grace God's green earth, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., the New England Patriots 7-game win streak, or Miami's 5 games and Kansas City's 5 games or whatever.
I'm gonna go with Miami's 5 games.
Miami's 5 games. I think I know where you're going with this, and I think you're gonna have a point. So
So when you look at it, of course, New England is the 7 games is more, and they came from obscurity. They're like the Phoenix rising out of the ashes. Okay, yada yada yada. But when you come back and think about it, like we basically remember the conversation we had where we was like, no, Miami's trash, Tua's trash. They're all done and all that type of stuff.
I didn't say Tua's trash. Don't slander my name.
Well, I said Tua's trash. Oh. And so when we sit up and talk about it, but now what we have is they're doing what they did 2 years ago. They're being impressive. They're saving their coach Flores' job. You know what I'm saying? His hot seat was heating up. I'm very sure it's still hot, but now it's more of a lukewarm. So when you look at that and put that all together, their defense is coming back. They're still doing less. They're doing more with less over there. So in that case, I look at like them to have to be on the 5-game win streak was unheard of, in my opinion. It definitely wasn't expected. We basically had them threw them in the trash with the rest with the Jets and the Jaguars, and wait for them to go ahead and fight it out to see who's going to get the number 1 pick. But they're actually doing something now. I'm not going to say they're going to make the playoffs. Oddly enough, Detroit is closer to making the playoffs than they might be. Will have a chance, but I mean they are on a 5-game win streak, and they're possibly maybe they will make the playoffs.
But
Miami has a better chance than the Raiders do.
Yo, can I go? Yo, let me go through the 5-game winning streak. Yo, can I go over it?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
They beat Houston. Sorry, Dante. They beat the Ravens, who've been up and down. They beat the Jets. Carolina, they don't have who's their quarterback now? Darnold?
No.
And the Giants.
It was Cam.
Hold on. We also need to put context as well, because remember, this defense was playing horrible.
Yeah, I know. They were on a 7-game losing streak.
The reason the Panthers lost was because that defense did hold it down. Same thing with the Ravens. The Ravens shut down Lamar. The defense did. So when you that's what I'm saying. I do see where Trey's coming from, because we also have to remember, this whole team started clicking. And I understand what you're saying about
it. Started clicking that Thursday night against Baltimore.
Exactly, because that was the spark.
That was the spark.
That was a spark. And after that, I say this. If you put them against anyone else with that spark, I think they're in these 5 games, I think they're potentially 3-2 or 4-1. Because they've been playing some, yeah, because they've been playing some good defense. So when Trey said the Dolphins, I was like, I'm not mad at that.
But Tua looked good in these 5 games too.
Yeah,
his completion percentage.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when Trey said
they look good too.
Yeah, that's why I said when Trey said the Dolphins. That's why I really wasn't mad, because they stepped up, and top to bottom, everyone kind of has been stepping up. And like you said, they're doing less with more. They're not going out there, you know what I mean? Like, they don't got, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook. They don't have, but they work what they got. They don't have a top 5 quarterback, but they're finally trusting him.
Yeah,
now you're starting to see the connection with Tua and Jalen Waddle when they had Alabama. You're starting to see that connection, and now you bring Devontae Parker, and then you had Gesicki, the tight end that's very underrated in this league. They got some good players on the offensive side of the ball. They're just not those flashy players that everybody expect to have.
Miami looked good week 1 when they beat the Pats. Sorry, Pride. I mean, it was a close game, and I'll be honest, at that time, I thought it was the Bills division. I really did. I thought it was the Bills division. I thought we had a chance at the wild card. I really did. And then Mac Jones was like, he spit on me, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
Pause.
I was like, my fault, bro. I was like, I know I disrespect you that. But by the way, Tom and Mac, 3 letters. Brady Jones, 5 letters. I'm just throwing that out there.
Here come his conspiracy theories. There we go.
No, all I'm saying, you feel me? Mac Jones is out here. He gonna be look, man. Tom who? What, Brady? It's all about Mac Jones, bro. I just relax before y'all kill me. It's a joke. I miss Tom, but our future definitely is looking bright. Ron, and by the way, Greg, I'm saving you for last because I know you're gonna say Kansas City. Kansas City. So I gotta go on a whole thing on how great Kansas City is. So I want to.
We already knew that, but that's the obvious. For Greg.
Yeah. So I just want to give you the floor. You know what I mean, Ron? New England 7, Miami's 5, Kansas City's 5. Who you got? And by the way, Raging Clue, what it do, baby? You heard, Ron?
Oh, I said Patriots.
Oh, you said Patriots? You got the Patriots? Sensible men on this panel. Sensible men. Coach, which more impressive?
I gotta go with. I agree with Trey. 1,000%. I gotta go with Miami. But if you really look at the game they actually clicked in and they figured out something as a close game they lost against Buffalo on that defensive side, how they made that game more close. They finally figured out something on the defensive side of the football. So when you go into that next week and you play the Houston Texans, what do they do on every second and first down? They play either zone coverage, man to man. What they do on third down, all out blitz. They bring a person from the backside that you want to see blindside the quarterback. And after that, they got two capable corners that can shut you down. They got Byron Jones and Zadrian Howard is still over there. So they're trusting basically their corners to man up against any receiver so far. And then now you take that against Carolina when Cam Newton went 5 for 21. And the same thing, they're doing a great job of sticking what they do best, playing regular defense on first and second down, and then bringing an all-out blitz, and then trusting their corners to man up, and this has worked. And Jalen Waddle, he took Bradbury to school. God damn, he took him to school on Sunday. Kaseki is very good. Gaskin is very good out of the backfield. Tua has been having some better progress. And Baltimore was doing good until the two fumbles. They executed the game plan right until they had two turnovers. But Miami, saving Brian Flores' job, who I think is still a good coach, they're coming out, they're still respecting him, and they're playing for Brian Flores' job. And again, I think that's just more impressive because they started off 1-7, and they was into consensus to get probably a top pick in the draft. But it all started against Buffalo. The game they lost, that's when they figured out something and turned the table. So I gotta give that to Buffalo.
Hey Mitch. Hey Mitch.
Yeah.
Who did you say was winning the Super Bowl again?
Bruh, I picked the Bills in the beginning of the season.
They lost that game.
You know what? Hold on.
Game. That's when this.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, Mitch. I was with you.
Thank you. I had the Bills and the Buccaneers.
No. I don't know about winning it. I had them in the Super Bowl, but the only thing
against the Buccaneers,
they need to run the ball. That was basically the red flag that I didn't like, and I thought this was the year they were going to do it.
That's why they're 6-6.
Yeah, they haven't. So at this point, I have them out. Do I think they'll make the playoffs? Yes, but until they learn how to run the ball, I don't think
if they get in, they'll lose in a wild card.
I don't think so. I just think their running game is just their Achilles heel, and if they can't establish a time of possession, that's going to really hurt them in the playoffs. Yeah, it will be tough. I got them out of the wild card, but I'm not mad at you for saying they're losing the wild card because again, with no run game, it's going to be tough.
They only have one identity on offense, and that's having Josh Allen. If Josh Allen ain't running the ball, they don't really have nobody else. I mean, Zach Moss is not at his best. Singletary, they barely use him. So their running game is Josh Allen. Their throwing game is Josh Allen. That's one-dimensional to me.
Yeah, way too. To me, they're way too. I call them the bizarro world of the Ravens, where the Ravens just want to run, Buffalo just wants to throw, and it's not going to work. Jay, which is more impressive, the Giants, the Eagles, or the Washington? Oh, my bad, wrong division. That's the NFC least. My bad.
He's trolling now, Jay.
The New England Patriots 7-win streak. Miami's 5 or Kansas City's 5.
No, I think definitely, like you said, you got a rookie quarterback and Matt Jones playing well, and they got Judon, all the things they brought in, and New England got off to a slow start, but once they heated up, man, it's got to be New England, man. They are the silent killers. These cats are going. I'm telling you, they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. You watch. They're the silent killers. That's going to take everybody surprise. Everybody's going to be surprised when they see it.
Okay. Mitch, I don't think
just to let you know, Pride, I had the last couple of weeks when it came to my dark horse of top 5 teams, the Patriots was my dark horse the last couple of weeks.
I've had the Patriots in the top 5 for like the last 2 weeks, and I've had them climbing up a little bit. But again, every time I say it, I'm being biased. So I kind of need to wait. I
had them number 2. I had them number 2 last time.
I had them number 2.
See, hey, Coach, that's why you're my hero. That's why I want to grow up and be like you.
No. Even before they really start going on this winning streak, I was just like, watch out. The Patriots might just turn it around. And I had them in my dark horse for at least a month now.
Yeah, and I've been saying that. I've been saying that, and people got mad at me because, I'm a New England Patriots fan. And I put it out there. So People got mad at me.
Right.
Mitch, did I do you yet? No,
No,
right?
I just said I looked at the Miami schedule. So for me, I'm going with the Patriots. I am, because I honestly didn't think Mac Jones would be this good starting out his rookie year. I did not. I thought he would not even be the top rookie. I thought that, but he's proved me wrong. He
Can you
really
apologize?
has.
Can you apologize to him real quick? Can you say I'm sorry, Mac Jones? Because I'm here to collect restitution from my man. I'm collecting restitution. And Ron, I'm coming for you next, dog. I'm gonna tell you this right now. And when Mac Jones has another 300-yard game, I'm coming for you, Ron. Don't hide from me. I'm gonna come from you, and I'm gonna demand an apology from my man.
But I can understand why, because it's not too many Alabama quarterbacks that are actually successful in the NFL.
And it's funny you said that.
It's because Tua is starting to be better, and now Mac Jones and mind you, they both was there.
Yep.
In the same time, I mean, Jalen Hurts was at Alabama, didn't go to Oklahoma, but
it's funny you said that, because right before the draft, I was talking to one of my boys. His name's Jose. Shout out to my guy Jose, but he said the same thing. Because I was like, I like Mac Jones, and I think he'll be solid. I didn't see this, but I thought he'd be solid. And he said the same thing. Name me the last Alabama quarterback that succeeded in the NFL. And I was like, that doesn't sound like a good question, because with how good Alabama usually is, they should have had a couple quarterbacks out here that was solid.
They haven't.
You know what I mean? And then like Jay said, when you start thinking about it, you're like,
you get a lot of the Alabama quarterbacks are backups in this league now. Near.
It's crazy. So, Mitch, who did you say again was more impressive? Oh no, you didn't even get to go because I cut you off. My bad.
No,
I
I finished. I said Patriots.
You said Patriots.
He said, he didn't know Mac Jones was going to be this.
Right, yes, you're right.
Coming into it, because, and that's what I brought in. Like, okay, you don't see too many Alabama quarterbacks.
So Trey went. He said Miami. Spotlight went. He said you said Patriots. Patriots. We got another Miami Dolphin. Greg, the floor is yours. Now tell us why this defense is phenomenal. How all of a sudden Deion Sanders is running cornerback.
It's called adjustment.
Yeah, talk to me. Tell me why the Chiefs' 5-game stretch is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Talk to me, brother.
Hey, save the best for last. Let me tell you why. The Chiefs' 5-game winning streak is the best. Look, this defense was crap the first half of the season. And for them to turn it around the way that they've had the best scoring defense since week 6. If you would have told me that back when they were struggling, I would have said there was no way. And this defense, the way they're playing right now, it's the defense that's going to take them to the Super Bowl and win this thing. So the most points they've given up in this winning streak is 17. That was with the Giants. The game that turned the season around to me was when they played the Packers. Even though there's no Aaron Rodgers, everybody else was still there. What's his name? Devontae Adams was still there. They still had Dylan. Aaron Jones was still playing in that game, and they held him to 7. That was when the confidence changed, and you could see it. It was like, wow, there's no Aaron Rodgers, but everybody else was still there, and they still held him to 7. And you could see they played with a different confidence since that game. We're gonna put a beat down on the Raiders on Sunday. It's gonna
I don't even have my Raiders
just like the first one.
Y'all gonna bust. Y'all gonna kick our ass.
Yeah. So Patrick Mahomes
40-0.
Yep. Patrick Mahomes gonna be back. Everybody.
Hey, coach, you gonna be watching that game, coach?
Hold on.
Patrick Mahomes gonna be back.
Hold on, Greg. I got a question for you, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
You that positive? You think the Chiefs will win?
Yes.
Your Spotlight. I'm gonna have more faith in your team again. I got the Raiders.
Listen,
I got the Raiders. My capabilities on the line.
I'm gonna tell you a story.
Hold on, Spotlight. Let Greg finish up, and I'll let you tell your story.
Okay. All right, no
Go
problem.
ahead, Greg.
No, y'all gonna see why y'all about to see why Derek Carr is not a top 5 quarterback. But anyway, so
hold on, Greg. Quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question. Let's say he's not top 5.
Mhm.
Is he top 7?
No.
Smoking.
When he
Pride,
gets to a playoff
Pride,
game and win one, then we'll talk
Pride,
about him
No,
being
but you
top
can't
7.
say
Then
that.
we'll talk about
No,
it.
but you
We'll
can't.
talk about it.
Go ahead.
Pride. I'm telling you, that's coming from a Chiefs fan. Any team that's a division of the AFC West is not going to say that.
Wait,
That.
hold on. So, Greg,
Mhm.
so is Justin Herbert trash then? Is he not a top 10 quarterback? He hasn't been in the
Justin
playoffs.
Herbert ain't trash.
But
No.
is he not a top 10?
He's up there, yeah.
But he hasn't. Okay, but he hasn't
He's
been
up
in the
there.
playoffs.
People say he's
He
a
ain't been in the
franchise
league
quarterback.
as long as Derek Carr.
It doesn't
Derek Carr
matter.
ain't did nothing
But
since he's been
Justin
in the
Herbert has
league.
better. Justin Herbert has better weapons than Derek Carr. That's what we saying.
Matter of fact, no. We're not doing this. Go back, Greg. Explain to us why the Chiefs are godly.
Okay, so they held Dallas to 9. Remember, that was when Dallas was supposed to be the greatest team and all that. They held them to 9. The Broncos, they were supposed to be coming up. Also, they held them to 9. The defense is for real. I'm not worried about Patrick Mahomes. No passing touchdowns this last game, but that's fine. He's going to get 4 of them in this game coming up Sunday. So,
Yes, he is.
It's good.
Yes, he is.
We good.
Hold on.
We good.
Let me ask you a question. Real
Mhm.
quick. 4 touchdowns, 350 plus yards. You taking that bet with me?
Yeah, he's gonna get that on the yeah.
Yes.
I need that for fantasy. I need that for fantasy.
In one game.
Mhm.
You're telling me that?
Yeah.
I'm taking that bet.
The Raiders defense ain't nothing. No, don't think
I'ma
because
say
they
this,
held
though.
Washington
I
to
can't-
17
I-
that they
no, no, hold on,
actually
hold on,
good.
hold on. I can say this though.
Trey.
Hey, Todd, I'm gonna say this though. I mean, the Raiders has one thing about the Raiders defense. I can say this: they're okay against the pass, but I know Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to have a 100-yard game against them because we're dead last against the run. So I don't see us winning this game at all. But saying as far as Carr's not a top 7 quarterback, I mean, you can make the case. I mean, he does have more passing yards than Patrick Mahomes this year. I mean, I'm just saying.
And less interceptions.
But, I mean,
I can say that.
and less interceptions too. But I'm just saying. But at the same time, the Chiefs are still going to win this game. It's clear as fucking day. The Raiders ain't winning no more games the rest of this year, bro. We're just not. The Raiders we're just not. Listen, Greg, take your win right now, and on Monday you don't have to talk trash to me because I already know we're going to lose.
I
love it.
What if you guys win?
No, bro, I'm telling you.
Listen.
Nope,
Listen,
I'm telling you right now. I got the Raiders. I got the
Pride.
Raiders. I'm just throwing that out there.
No. Let me tell the story. Let me tell you this story, Pride. I didn't watch the Cowboys game and we won. I'm not watching the Chiefs game.
Don't watch another game ever. Don't watch.
I'm not watching. I'm not watching.
Bro, no. I used to have the same superstitions. I used to every single time I would like not watch a Patriots game. We've been on this ungodly streak. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I was like, you know what? I want to witness it. I want to be part of history. So I watched it and we lost and I got tight. I punched my TV.
That Cowboys game was on. That Cowboys game was on Thanksgiving after my family. I went on a date and didn't look at the score until the end of the game. I'm gonna do the same thing with the Chiefs game. I'm gonna go on a date with someone and not care about this game.
And then when they win, I just want to throw it out there. When they win, Pride have more confidence in your team than you had.
That's fine.
Greg, let me start with you. And I think I already know what the answer to this. Someone said, with how bad the Bills are looking right now, do y'all think they should bench Allen and give Trubisky a chance just to get them in the wild card?
No.
Now, hold on. I will say this. Hold on now. I understand why you guys are laughing. However,
Trubisky's a joke.
I don't think this question is as bad as you guys are making it out to be. Because
no,
if they
worse.
bench Allen, and I'm gonna say this now, if they bench Allen and put in Mitchell Trubisky, I guarantee you, all of a sudden they'll have a legitimate run game. That's the only reason
because they're not going to let Trubisky
this
pass.
This might be a chance. But go ahead, Greg. What do you think?
They're not going to let Trubisky pass. That's why they're going to have a run game. He's gonna be averaging like 10 passes a game. Like, no, they shouldn't bench Josh Allen. Josh Allen is better than Mitchell Trubisky. Let's not be crazy.
Surprised you said that. Wow.
Let's not be crazy. No, Mitchell Trubisky trash.
Yeah, he's garbage.
I literally had a conversation with someone who defended him and said that I think it was 2012, was it? When the Bears went 12-4, and I had someone legitimately tell me, bro, Mitch Trubisky did it. And I'm like, you're an idiot.
Hey, Prod, can I say something real quick when it comes to this topic?
Go ahead.
This is the first time ever, as a Raiders fan, I agree with a Chiefs fan when it comes to football.
There it is. It happens.
Damien out here breaking down walls and building new relationships.
Sure is.
Matter of fact, since I have you here, do you think that the Bills should bench Josh Allen for at least a game for Mitchell Trubisky?
Hell no.
Wait,
no.
Wait,
Mitchell
hold on.
Trubisky, number one, he was a reach in the draft from the Bears. Number one.
It was
number two, yeah, he did take the Bears to one playoff game, and that was a double doink again for the Bears. That always happens to them. And he has not been nothing since. He couldn't even get a starting job in the league nowhere else. So he backs up Josh Allen, and they think that for one game, Mitchell Trubisky might be the saver for the Bills. No. Keep Josh Allen in there.
Wait, just let me say this real quick.
Go ahead, Mitch.
Coming from Damien. Damien, I'm looking at you right now. You said Justin Fields is better than Derek Carr. I'm done.
Justin Fields is better than Derek Carr?
That's what he said yesterday on my show.
He said it yesterday.
Justin Fields is better.
He was cammed up on my show, and he said it straight to my face.
Wow.
So, I'm not thinking anything he said.
I will give him that Justin Fields does have better potential. Mitch, I will give him that, but that's only because Derek Carr. Derek Carr right now is what in his prime, like you know what I mean. But
he goes right now.
Derek Carr is better than him. Derek Carr.
I don't know about that, baby.
Pride. I'm gonna tell you this right now. as I'm gonna say this. I don't know this is not about Derek Carr, but if I am Derek Carr, get the hell out of Dodge when it comes to the Raiders. I will support you if you go somewhere else. I do not want you a part of this organization. This organization would not be nothing for the next 20 years. Carr, get out of there. Go to New Orleans.
Derek Carr to Minnesota? Question mark?
No. Derek Carr to the Bears and have him take Justin Fields' spot.
No way. Pittsburgh, or right now the best fit for Derek Carr is Pittsburgh and New Orleans. That's a fact.
New Orleans, I can agree with.
Yeah,
I like that one. Trey, when I put up the comment, you kind of made a little face like, oh, okay. Do you think that they should bench Josh Allen for just a game?
No, so I don't think they should bench him, but I'm not going to sit up and say either that playing Mr. Trubisky is going to be the worst that they can do. What you get in Mr. Trubisky, I think you see like y'all saying that they will probably have a run game, or they probably look to utilize the run more. In that sense, you'll have more of a game manager in Mitchell Trubisky than you do in Josh Allen, for the simple fact that Josh Allen has the idea that he's just going to be that man that he can go out and win the games, in which of late he hasn't been successful in doing. So I wouldn't say to bench him unless it was necessary, but I don't think it would necessarily be the worst thing that could happen if they did bench him to play Mitch.
Yeah, especially considering if it's only a game. Now, again, obviously, I'm not saying just outright bench him. Have a conversation with him, talk to him, say what's going on with you, whatever. Coach, you are a coach here. You know, you partake in this stuff. If you're coaching this team, is benching Josh Allen a legitimate thought in your mind?
Ask the question one more time.
I said, let's say you're coaching this team. Is benching Josh Allen and starting Mitchell Trubisky a legitimate thought you have in your mind?
That you got my answer right now.
Oh my God,
not
Jay,
the big
you
thing
feel the
with
same?
apple juice, though.
You feel the same way, Jay?
Yeah, you got my answer right. That go my answer. The walk off right there.
Yeah. I feel exactly the same way. It's ridiculous to even talk about.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is I would go a full game where Josh Allen can only throw the ball 15 times. That's really what I would do. I would honestly try that. spice up.
Mike Hughes was so happy when Trubisky left Chicago. I think the only thing he's ready for now is for Nagy to follow him.
Yeah. So a lot of questions have been coming up about the NCAA, more specifically their transfer portal. A lot of people have been critiquing it, so I'm gonna start with you guys, and Spotlight is back. So Mitch, let me start with you. Do you believe that the transfer portal, is it more harmful or is it more helpful?
I got to think about that. I haven't heard about that in like a little bit. So.
Would you want college football?
Football or basketball? I thought he said basketball, right?
No, football. Yeah, the college football transfer portal. Like, is it more harmful or is it more helpful?
Oh, okay. You confused me there.
My bad.
You're good. So I think it's more helpful. I think it's more helpful because it gives the guys like a new fresh start, and it can get them like to a new team to get them more comfortable and get them more signed. So that's how I see about it.
I'll say this about the transfer portal. I think it's better for it. It really depends on where you're getting transferred to, in my opinion.
Yes.
If it's going to help a football program. Sometimes you transfer from a high powered school to a lower power school, and then you have that lower power school be on the come up. So when it comes to the transfer portal, like with the whole Spencer Rattler thing, I mean, it comes into these coaches going into these recruitment houses, talk about how they're going to be this and that for the next couple of years. So a lot of factors come into the transfer portal. It can be helpful, but then at the same time, it can hurt you at the same time. It really depends on your decision on where you want to get transferred to and what type of program you're going into.
So, Greg, do you think, like, matter of fact, the transfer portal, do you think that, do you think anything needs to really be changed with it? Do you think that it favors the athlete side too much? It favors the program side too much? Like, or do you think it's kind of like in a sweet spot right now?
I think it's in a sweet spot right now. Kind of like what Spotlight was saying. It all depends on where you're transferring to. And when you transfer, is that team fitting the needs that you're transferring for and things like that. So I think the transfer portal is fine the way that it is now.
So Trey, there is that whole 1 year thing that when you try to transfer, do you believe that's a little bit excessive?
I wouldn't say necessarily it's excessive, but I do think it's not needed for the most part, especially when you look at it, certain stipulations and why people transfer. But when you take into consideration the transfer, a person transferring because they're not getting the playing time, just like anything, a contract for the most part holds you to things, and they sign letter of intent and they go ahead and come on. But I think it just needs to be a little more logic when we take a look at it. When they take a look at the rules that they make for the transfer portal, and be more exact and making more of a realistic situation, so that way you don't sit up and hurt these young men. But of course, you don't want a lot of you don't want to blaze a trail to where people feel like exactly what we said, that okay, they can't sign on, they can't be here, they can't stay here because you can't get any burn. You missed this opportunity. Now you're gonna jump ship to ship, and now you throughout your whole college career, you spent 1 year at each university because you didn't get your opportunity. And now they are saying, so these are young minds, these are young men or ladies, depending on what we're talking about for football, young men. And in the sense of, at the end of the day, it can be a little sporadic if they're not getting what they get. Everyone's not going to be able to play for the most part. So, like Greg was just saying, it needs to be a little more that needs to be done to kind of fine tune it.
So I mean, obviously, that's kind of like one of like the big issues people have with it is just that 1 year. Another part of it is that people, obviously, something you guys have brought up that not a lot of people really bring it up. The fact that some guys can just hop hop around. Coach, let me ask you this question. Don't you think if a guy, if one of these students just start hopping around from program to program to program, don't you think their draft stock will drop and they're conscious of it? Don't you think that in and of itself will kind of deter them from kind of just being a team hopper?
A little bit. It could hurt them, but again, I don't think the transfer portal was too much. I mean, Coach Spotlight said it all. It just depends basically on the system that you go to, and it just depends on the college that you think you can be successful at, and the coaches. It just depends on if you can be successful at that college, but it can't hurt you going from team to team to team to team. But like I said again, I don't think the transfer or for portal is too much. I just think it just depends on what college you're going to end up at. Or you buy into that head coach, or rather if you buy into that defensive coordinator or anything. I just think it just depends on the system you're going to actually.
Now I'm gonna throw this out there too when it comes to the transfer portal.
Go ahead.
Even though that you get transferred to that university or to that program, you still have to come in and compete for a starting spot. And if you don't win that starting spot, are you going to go and transfer somewhere else? So it really questions the player like, okay, I'm coming here because I wasn't getting any time with this school. But at the end of the day, in the back of your mind, you got to go into a mindset. If you're going into that transfer portal, no matter where you go, you're still going to have to compete for a starting spot. And that's going to really, and then if you don't get that starting spot and you keep transferring, that's the only way that could drop your stock for the draft.
Right. And that's kind of how I look at it. Because, a lot of people are upset with the transfer portal because they feel like, that the student has to jump through some hoops. And the way I look at it is, well, if you're going to go to a whole new team, a whole new program, it's good for you to have to jump through those hoops because we have to understand something. Some of these kids just act solely on impulse. Like they're not getting the touches. They're like, oh, I'm leaving, right? When they have to jump through the hoops, it gives them time to actually sit down and think about it and be like, do I really want to go elsewhere? And on top of that, let me compare my situation here than I would be if I'm going elsewhere, right? For instance, Spencer Rattler, right?
But think about this too, Spencer Rattler was the top quarterback coming out of high school. So he comes from having that fame, that limelight to come into a school that promised him that, and then he ended up losing his job. So if he does, he loses his job to a freshman quarterback. So you got to look at it from these players that's coming straight out of high school.
I think he's a true freshman, right?
Yeah, he's a true freshman. He's a true freshman. And I think that when it comes to these kids that's coming out of high school going into college and they expect it to be having success immediately, that's another thing that comes into play too. You coming from winning national championships and being a spotlight for your city in your high school and being that, well, they call it jock or whatever. And then you come to college and you're just back at square one when you was at a freshman. So a lot of people, so it's a lot that go into it. But with Spencer Rattler's situation, he was one of the top quarterbacks coming out of high school. He really didn't get no burn the first couple of years that he was there. And then when he did get the burn, he gets benched. Now he wants to transfer. So it's a lot of factors that goes into the transfer portal.
Yeah, and again, Jay, last question before we move on to the final topic of the day. With all the stuff of them transferring and all that stuff, let's look at it from the other point that people really don't talk about. We're talking about the athlete, the academic portion of it, right? Because that's something that kind of gets neglected when we're talking about the transfer portal. Do you believe that if a guy gets transferred, if let's say he's transferring and he wants to do a specific, he's getting a certain degree, right? Like, let's say it's like sports management, right, or sports therapy or whatever, right? Let's say the school he wants to go to, it's full. Should that be a factor in the transfer portal and saying, oh, well, what you're majoring in, we don't have it. We need to get you, you're not allowed to transfer.
That's a good. That's a real good question.
It is.
Damn, that's a good question. I think do they make special considerations, for an athlete? I don't know. I don't know.
They don't. They don't. It's more along the lines of, I think a lot of times they go. A lot of the athletes are just do when they got that scholarship, they do general, right? Like,
oh yeah, they just do general studies.
Yeah, they do general studies, so that way, that's kind of like their way of being like, I can just slip in wherever. But I'm mostly talking to like the guys who actually are doing, trying to do something else for
Just outside of the general studies.
Exactly, like you know what I mean. Like, should that be a factor? Because again, this is something that really not a lot of people are really looking at in terms of the academic side. So if they don't have the room, should the program just say, "Bro, sorry, we can't take you"?
I would think so. I think if you don't have the room, you don't have the room. I mean, honestly, what are you going to do? Take something away from another student that's trying to do something because you're an athlete? I mean, so because if they don't have room, then and they try to slide this guy in, then what does it take away from the other students that are there that are actually not athletes but are in that program? I mean, does it take something away from them? If it doesn't take anything away from them, then I don't see a problem with it. But if it starts to hinder or take away something, then I say this is what it is. You just gotta stay where you are. You committed there, and you're just this is where you go.
Yeah, and what's kind of
special treatment is the biggest thing. The special treatment is a big thing too,
right? And what the thing about it is, if we're gonna be honest, there's no way the transfer portal will be perfect, right? Like Trey said, that year wait, it's not excessive, but it is a little unnecessary.
It has a lot of factors that goes into
exactly, and that's the thing. Like, until you can eliminate all those factors, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Last topic of the day, still kind of in this realm. Let's say you guys are, you guys have a child, and they're in college, right? Finish their first year, and they have a legit choice in front of them. Do you go pro? Do you, stay at your school? And there is a little bit of tension, your head coach isn't giving your child as many opportunities as you believe and all that stuff. Do you go pro? Do you stay at the school and try to tough it out? Or, kind of segue from what we're talking about, do you give your child the opportunity and you give him the advice to enter the transfer portal? Let me give you a scenario. Matter of fact, Spencer Rattler, right? Let's say you guys are the parents of Spencer Rattler, with all the stuff that happened to him. Trey, let me start with you. Are you telling him definitely go into the transfer portal? Are you telling him, look, now that Lincoln Riley's gone, try to stick it out, see what happens? Or do you just say, look, you're talented enough, go declare for the draft?
So in the places of Rattler, what I would do, we have a conversation. We'll talk to the coach and see what the coach Venable's system is going to be like, because you have to take in consideration for Spencer. He's eligible right now. He's eligible to go to the draft. So do you allow him? So in this case, do you hurt his draft prospects potentially by allowing him to sit on the bench behind Williams or whomever Venable ends up recruiting to bring in? Risk the possibility of hurting him draft wise, or another option is to sit up and talk to scouts to see if we can get some filters to find out what is the rhetoric about my son. But to keep it within the question, I think I'm going to tell him to stay.
Okay, so you would tell him, new coach, new environment, tough it out, and let's see what happens. That's the advice you're giving?
That's what we're going with. Yep.
All right. Coach, same scenario. Everything, the guy that benched your son, he's out of there. Now it's not a guarantee that your son is still going to start being Spencer Rattler. There's no guarantee, because a true freshman, he kind of still did. He did pretty good. So what would you recommend? What best advice would you give Spencer Rattler?
Well, it just depends on your draft stock. If you're projected to come out the first round, then I consider you to go ahead and go pro, because again, they're saying you're a good enough per player to get drafted in the first round. So you go ahead and take that route right then and there, because that means teams are high up on you. You're getting drafted in the first round, so you can't actually pass that up. But on the other side, I will sit down and just talk. And like Trey said, hey, just talk to the coach, Brett Venables, see where you guys stand at. Do you see yourself playing in this org plan? or if not, then you making probably hit the transfer portal. But I'll let him to stay to see what Brett Venable has gotten for him, or is he going to be sold on him as a starting quarterback. But again, you're projected to come out in the first round, so why not? Why just sit up there and kind of wait? Sit up there and kind of wait. If scouts projecting you to come out in the first round and be a first round pick. I don't know if you can go back and risk that in college and get hurt, then you drop your draft stock like that. But it can go both ways in this scenario.
Yeah, and that actually kind of does bring up a good point. A lot of people still genuinely believe Spencer Rattler is going to be a very high pick still. They do believe he'll be a first rounder, at worst a second rounder. So Jay, with that knowledge in your mind, you're hearing people say that Spencer Rattler could be a top pick. Does that influence you at all to make a decision?
Absolutely. Look, here's a great thing about college. If you have good, like into his point about draft stock getting hurt, if you get hurt, your draft stock going down. If you got a good draft stock, and like we said, if you're a potential first rounder, or if you're going to go in the first round, yeah, you don't mess with that, because you know what, college is always going to be there. Truthfully, when you come out in the draft, you got money, right? Your first time you see the money. College is still there. It's not like you're not getting your degree. You can still finish your degree and be in the NFL. So I think the draft stock is the most important thing, because college is still there for you. No matter what, college is always going to be there. Draft stock may not.
True. Which does go to a good and spotlight. I'm gonna ask you this next question. Then you can obviously stack on what you want to say.
Okay.
That is a very good point. That when you make it to the league, you'll be able to pay it. However, let's say that you'll be able to have a full ride scholarship wherever you transfer. Does that spotlight, would that kind of also be in your mind? Because even though your son can make it to the league, some of that money's going to have to go to college. Whether if you're here and you have that full ride, you don't have to worry about it. Will that kind of factor in at all?
It will factor in, but let's not forget, even though that you're getting the money in the NFL, let's not forget that the NCAA is starting to pay these players now. So let's put that into consideration as well when it comes to endorsement, stuff like that. I'm with Trey saying stay if I'm Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you got benched by a freshman. That should fuel your fire to come into next season and compete against him in spring training. Everything is not going to be given to you as Spencer Rattler like it was in high school. So if you want to come in and get your starting spot back, you're going to have to work for that, because if you go and transfer, you're going to have to compete for a starting spot there. So why go into the transfer portal and you got to go compete with their number one quarterback wherever you go, and you think you're just going to come in and get an open spot because your name is Spencer Rattler? Absolutely not. Oklahoma is a prestigious school academically and football. So with that being said, and you're getting paid to play college football through endorsements, why leave? Even though you're going to do that anywhere else, but at the same time, you should have the fuel under your behind. Like, listen, Caleb Williams is not better than me. That should be you going into next season. I'm going to outbeat him and be the starter for Oklahoma next season, no matter who's the coach or not. That's just me.
And I get it. Greg, Spotlight kind of brushed on a very good point. Let's say Spencer Rattler, when you transfer, not only do you still have to win the starting job, but that's a whole new offense you got to learn. That's a whole new set of receivers. You kind of got to understand how they break, how they run their routes, who's a good route runner, who's just a burner. You got to learn all of this stuff. So let's say, you keep that in your mind. Would you disencourage Spencer Rattler to enter the transfer portal because of that?
That would be one reason, yes. What you just said, probably you have to learn a different receiving core, how they run their routes and everything. You got to learn a new playbook. I would tell if Spencer Rattler was my son, I would tell him stay in school for one more year. Yes, the draft is still there, but we've seen people, they get drafted before they was ready, and they got their money and everything, but they was gone within 3-4 years, and then they was selling cars. Let's just be honest.
Well, that's probably because they didn't manage their money correctly.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean anything else. They could have managed their money.
Right, they weren't able to manage their money. That's right, and so you want to. I don't want to rush Spencer Rattler. If I felt like, hey, son, you need one more year to kind of, work on some things, and so that you can be better, so that you can last in the league for years and not just 3-4 years and then be done. That would be the route I would take. Don't rush, because if you get there before you're ready, the NFL don't care. If you're not winning, putting up big numbers, you will sit on that bench.
But Greg, at the same time, it's a gamble. You're gambling on yourself. And you're gambling on yourself. Yes, you can stay there and continue to polish those things like you're talking about, and that's great. But if you have a career-ending injury or something of that magnitude, all that money you could have had, should have, would have had, now goes away. And what happens to your transfer or your scholarship, your full ride? Do they then take a look at that and say, well, what does he benefit doing now? Now his career, he can't benefit. Do they take away the scholarship?
I mean, and
at the end of the day, a bird in the hand. Listen, you can work on it. You can get a trainer. If you got determination, you can get a trainer and work on all those things you're talking about, even while you're in the draft. You know what I'm saying? But a bird in the hand is more than what you do. And let's be honest, you can get the transfer deals in college, or you can get the mega deals or the $1 million endorsement deals or whatever in college. But what's $1 million compared to what you could be good in the NFL? If you get a career-ending injury, I mean, you're gambling. Everything's a gamble. College is to be there. If you manage your money right, if you're whatever, you can come back to college. You can't always go back to the NFL.
Which is true. But this is why it's called college football. You gotta have a backup plan. Even though you're supposed to be a first round pick, you're going to take a gamble to the NFL. But this is where your degree comes into play as well, if that dream does not happen. So as a football player, you gotta have that backup plan. NFL just can't be your future. Mind you, the NFL is always going to be there. It's always going to be there. But if you have a career season injury and things don't work out your way, then you got to have a backup plan. It just can't be football is life, because everything just don't go the way you want it. So in that aspect, you got to have a backup plan as well.
Right. And also
while taking the risk.
Yeah.
But even Pride even said most of the ones that go to college aren't going there for the specifics like you're talking about. They're mostly going there for general studies. They're mostly going there to make it to the NFL. How many people do you think that are in athletics are actually going there for the degree, or they're going there to get into the pros? I mean, you got to look at so I think it's a case by case basis. It's a case by case basis.
A lot of NFL players that did get drafted out of college end up getting a degree, regardless if they finish their college career or not. They still have a backup plan after their career is done. That's all I'm saying. Some players just don't do that, and they just come out of college and don't go back and get their degree. But if I'm Spencer Rattler and I'm his father, I would have been like, listen, stay at Oklahoma one more year. If it doesn't work out, or if it doesn't work out, go into the draft. You still have that reputation. But I still think that even though that he lost his job, he needs to come back next year and compete for his starting job, so his draft stock could be higher than being a low first round pick and a projected second rounder, or he could just be a high for top 5 pick if he steals the job from Caleb Williams. So it's so many scenarios with that situation.
Right.
Yeah, I understand what Coach saying, because like he's saying, you still got that burden on your chest. Hey, this dude took my spot. They saying this guy is better than me, so I want to go in with a chip on my shoulder and prove why this guy's not better than me. And I understand from both ways. Though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like I say, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to pass up if you're hearing scouts and you're hearing analysts to say you're projected first round pick. It's going to be hard not to come out not to already make up your mind and just come out automatic, come out right then and there when you're knowing you're projected to come in the first round. But I understand what Coach and everybody else saying, because I say this is the guy that took my spot. This is the guy that basically Lincoln Riley said, hey, we're better off winning with this guy than I am. So I understand what he's saying. Go to back to Oklahoma, try to get your starting spot back and earn it right back. Because anywhere else you go, you still doing the same thing. You still got probably someone in front of you that you got to take that job from.
Yep. And the thing is because a couple of you guys said something that y'all said the NFL will always be there, right? But the thing is, the way I look at it, even though the NFL will always be there, you won't always be there for the NFL. And that's something, if I'm talking to my child, like that's something we got to factor in. Like, let's say you have a 10-year career. What's next? Where do you go from here? You know what I mean? And that's something I would talk to my kid and say, look, bro, what are you going to if I was talking to my son, this is what I would tell him. What are you going to school for? Like, if you're just going for general studies, we're nipping that right here, right now. Because let's say you get to the NFL and it's too hard for you. That's a possibility. It's a possibility. Tim Tebow was looking phenomenal. Johnny Manziel looked like one of the greatest college players in their history ever.
In pride, it's not a great percentage of a lot of players coming out of college going to the NFL either. That's not a great percentage.
Exactly. So it's like it is a risk. J-Max said this. No matter what you do, it's a risk. Mm-hmm. No matter what you do. If you stay, it's still a risk because of injury. If you transfer, not only is injury still there, but it's still a risk because, you got to relearn everything. And if you stay, it's also a risk that you lose your job to the same kid again. And if you lose it to him again, your stock will be virtually unrecoverable by then. If you lose it to them again. But then if you go to the pros, what if you're not ready? What are you going to do then?
So many question marks.
Exactly. So it's like what I'm telling my child, I'm like, look, make whatever choice you want. There's only one stipulation. You're taking ass to school, and whatever you're doing in school is going to be whatever you plan on doing afterwards. Mm-hmm. Because you need to understand something. All the retired athletes who become analysts and all that stuff, that's not all of them. That's not all of them. More times they're not. Guess who they end up like? More times than not, they end up like Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, where they got to go out and make their own thing. When they got to make their own, they got to go out and make their own stuff because it's not handed to them. They got to go and make their own stuff. So it's like, what are you going to go to school for? And then, again, it really comes down to, for me, even though, I get it, you want to make the league. But for me, plan B is the most important plan. Because, again, just because you make it to the NFL doesn't mean you're done. It doesn't mean you're set. Because, again, you could lose your job at any time. You don't believe it? Go ask Ryan Fitzpatrick. He was supposed to be the starter in Washington. One injury made Taylor Heineke be the starter. And now Washington don't want Fitz back when he gets healthy.
Facts.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a 1-year deal. It's just like a 1 or 2 year deal. They don't want him back.
They found their future.
He even lost his job. He even lost his job when the Miami Dolphins was 4-3 in a playoff spot. He even lost his job to Tua at that point in time, and he was very hurt about that and emotional about it.
Exactly. So that's kind of where I look at it. Like, you got vets out here who are losing their job. You know what I mean? Like Alex Smith, he was good. Like, for the Chiefs, he was solid.
Yes, he was.
Still lost his job to Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Alex Smith with the 49ers was solid. Still lost his job to Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean? Like, and it goes on and on. Brett Favre, for as much as he wanted, guess what?
Let's not forget with Alex Smith last year with the Washington football team. Taylor Heineke came in that playoff game.
Exactly. So that's one dude who's been through it 3 times. 3 times.
2 quarterbacks, 2 different quarterbacks, 1 quarterback, Taylor Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick got their job lost by it.
Exactly. And on top of that, Drew Bledsoe, quarterback for the Patriots, got down, he got injured, entered Tom Brady. Bill Belichick has never looked back since.
Yep.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
The Chiefs, when they got sick of Joe Montana, it wasn't the Chiefs, it was the Niners. When they didn't want Joe Montana, when they had Steve Young, what did they do? They traded Joe Montana over to the Niners. So it's like, Yeah, to the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Yeah. The Niners traded him to the Chiefs. So it's like there are guys who just lose their jobs, and it's like, what's your backup plan? Where's plan B?
Right.
And me personally, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at him. I'm gonna be like, look, bro, understand something. No matter where you go, you're gonna have to compete.
Oh, one more thing, Pride. Tom Savage lost his job to Deshaun Watson. He lost his job right then and now. After one game against Jacksonville, he lost his game.
It only takes one.
One game, he lost it to Deshaun Watson.
It only takes one. And on top of that, you also need to take this into consideration. Yo, Spencer, if you go to the NFL and you're a top draft pick, let's think about it. Do you really want to go to Houston? Do you really want to go to Detroit? Do you really want to go there? That's just a question that I think people need to ask. As a youngster, do you really want to go to a dog shit franchise and be the face and then get blamed for everything whenever it doesn't work out?
Look at Tua.
Defense failed. I was about to say the same thing. Holla at Tua. When Tua literally breathes the wrong way, Dolphins fans want him traded. The organization.
Let's look at this too with the national championship game with Jalen Hurts and Tua coming in and taking Jalen Hurts' spot in the second half. Let's look at that as the same thing.
And it's on the college level too. So again,
same thing with Tom Savage and Deshaun Watson. Tom Savage lost his job in that second half against Jacksonville, and that takes him never look back after that.
Never.
I'll say this: the Jalen Hurts situation was a good example of how the transfer portal can help you.
Yes, yeah, that's true too. It really is, because if we're be honest, and I'm one of the people who say this.
When he went to Oklahoma, he was straight.
I love Jalen Hurts. If he doesn't get transferred, not only is he not with the Eagles, I believe he's in the Jordan Love. He's like in the Jordan Love route, where some people think he's good, but you won't really ever know because he's never getting snaps with the first team. He's a glorified backup. And you will never really know what you get with Jalen Hurts. Like Jordan Love, I don't know if he's good or bad. I don't know. I really don't. Because the thing is, the kid never practices with the first team. Nothing like that. So for all I know, this kid could be better than Aaron Rodgers ever was. Or he could just be a younger Jamarcus Russell. When it comes to
Jordan Love is still making money sitting on that bench doing a damn thing. Just sitting there.
Hey, Jordan Love, if you ever want to switch roles, bro, let me know, bro. Because I'll be more
sitting there making that money.
Matter of fact, no, never mind. I don't want it. Nah, Jordan Love.
He just sitting up there robbing that money, huh? To sit on the bench.
That's the best position in football. Backup quarterback. That's the best position in football.
Brian Hoyer has made a living being a backup quarterback.
That's a fact.
Matt Flynn got paid by Seattle because of him being a backup, and he had that one great game in Green Bay.
Look at Nick Foles. Nick Foles. How much money is he making now being the third string?
Actually, the backup quarterback sits next to the head coach. They're probably in training with the head coach in the future.
Right. Real quick, before I let you go, Coach, we're talking about Matt Flynn, right? Talking about losing your job fast. Matt Flynn got paid, went over to Seattle, and still lost his job to Russell Wilson. So keep that in the back of your mind, kid. Go ahead, Coach.
Sam Bradford. What did he do in the NFL? Got nothing but got hurt, but he still was out there. He still was making money. His agent was still getting him paid. He did nothing but come rob money in the NFL and got hurt over and over again, and still come back the next season and got paid.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Bless his heart. Like I said, bro, I wish I could be a backup because I'm not good at the game. I'm not good. Like if any NFL teams are looking, I suck, but I could hype guys up. I could talk. You feel me? Like if you guys want, listen, bro, I'm great with PR.
Hey, Pride, how about this one? And I know Jay gonna say something about this, but look at Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's the same way. He was a backup for all now. Now he's all.
Yeah, he was.
Offensive coordinator.
That's what I'm saying. Backup quarterbacks translate into assistant coaches at some level if they pay attention long enough.
And do you want to know why? Do you want to know why? Because they were good, they don't have problems seeing who's better than them. See what I'm saying? Like John Elway, all-time great. But that's why he can't fucking get a draft quarterback. That's why. Because he's so great. I love Tom Brady, but guess what? Tom, you should be looking at quarterbacks, dog, because you might be the same way where you're like, oh yeah, bro, this is easy to me. Why is it so hard for you? And be reaching and whatnot. So
I mean, look at the Eagles right now, and especially what they're going through with their backup quarterbacks as of late. You have Jeff Garcia. You had Nick Foles. You have Gardner Minshew now. Like, the Eagles are a quarterback factory.
You
and
had
I'm getting
Joe
sick of it.
Flacco at one point too.
Yeah, Joe Flacco, and I can go on and on.
Yeah.
Michael Vick, that's another one. But I'm just saying.
It's just crazy, bro.
Guys like Kellen Moore, Byron Leftwich, they're on the verge of getting jobs next year, actually head coaching jobs next year. So, again, it's a great point by Jay.
Yeah, bro. And again, it's just interesting because, like I said, I genuinely feel like if you're not an all-time great player, it's easier for you to see somebody better than you and be like, oh yeah, bro, he's good. Because you don't, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times, either they reach like John Elway or me, they're a guy who just goes, oh, nobody could be better than me. Let me just downplay everybody. So, Jesus.
Real quick, last thing. But you got to look at the quarterback competition each time. Look what happened with Carson Wentz. He actually, in the head, he was like, okay, I'm not ready for the competition. I want to leave. And Jalen Hurts took his spot. Now we're here with Gardner Minshew. Like, this whole thing's ridiculous.
It is. But if we're going to be honest, sports, it's ridiculous. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for keeping us company. Thank you for everyone watching. Coach, you got any last words?
Oh, man, like I said, another show, another morning. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat watching. Like I said, it's not good to. It's not easy to get up early in the morning at 9 o'clock every single morning. But y'all guys do it to watch us, and we definitely appreciate that. Some of yourselves, appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excuse me. Greg, what you got to say, bro?
Oh man, just like Coach said, we thank everybody for watching, getting up early with us. Man, it's always a good time. I love being here, every morning, chopping it up, with everyone, and it's awesome. Oh, and by the way, Freddie, the Lakers aren't the best team in Los Angeles, let alone the Western Conference. Just putting that out there. So,
well, they did beat the Celtics.
If they can beat the Clippers, then they'll be the best team in LA.
Hey, yo, Mitch, shut up. Shut up, Mitch. Shut up, Mitch.
You've been high for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
You've been high.
It's the spotlight. You got any final words, bro?
I'm happy to able to do the show today while I'm working and doing my rounds as usual. I might hear this loud ass beat because I'm doing my rounds at this moment. But I do want to thank everybody for coming in. Happy, be on the ASAP in the morning show. I'll usually pop in and leave out, but
that's gonna be the best security out there.
Huh?
I said you gotta be the best security guard out there, man.
I am.
Yeah.
Listen, I work for PayPal. I'm with a multi-million-dollar company, so I'm cool. But yeah, it was fun being on here talking about trash ass Ben Simmons. But another story, another time.
I was gonna say that.
I appreciate everybody being on, and it was fun. It was fun today.
Yeah, just as much fun I'm about to have when Ben Simmons out here takes over the fucking league, brother.
Ben Simmons going to Boston. Simmons going to Boston.
And I don't mind as long as no, see, that's where I draw the line. Y'all can take whoever y'all want as long as it's not Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum.
Give us Jaylen Brown.
Give us Jaylen Brown. We want to reunite Al Horford, Josh Richardson, and Ben Simmons. We
Mitch, you got any final words?
It was fun. I'm glad being on here. It was just fun. I don't normally get a chance to be on here, but whenever I get the link, I should be here. But it was just fun, even though that Ben Simmons, I almost got a headache. But it's just like, it's fun. Thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you being here. And by the way, I'll talk to Freddie to see if we can get you in the group chat because we just put it in the group chat. And then, it's an open invite, so we'll see.
Mitch, I'll send it to you because you know.
Oh, Spotlight will do it? Okay, bet.
All right, cool.
Bet. So we'll have Spotlight send it to you, so that way, just pop in whenever you want.
Gotcha.
J Mac, any final comments?
Yeah, thanks for everybody joining the show. It's always good when we get people in the comments, especially when they give everybody a hard time. It's good to see that. And by the way, just for Mitch, go Cowboys. We're gonna win the Super Bowl.
I didn't know you were a Cowboys fan. I didn't know that at all.
Mitch, it's funny. You were doing so good, J Mac. You were doing so good. You were doing so good.
Hey, listen, man, you gonna call me freaking delusional? I'll show you freaking delusional.
I didn't know you were a Cowboys fan.
That's right.
At least J Mac understands. Hey, look, that's delusion. At least he understands that.
The moment that trade happened with Pride, Ben Simmons and Jalen Brown, you might not see Pride no more on the show. Y'all might not see him.
I'll quit. I'll stop covering sports. I'm not kidding. Look, man, I'm telling you this right now. If we do that, immediately we should trade immediately. Matter of fact, we're not even trading just Jason Tatum. We're cutting him. Release him. Let him walk anywhere else. Literally, walk him, go anywhere else. Brad Stevens needs to get fired, sent back to college. Let's get Butler back his head coaching job so he can get fired again. Okay? We need to sell the team and we need to relocate, right? We need to burn down TD Garden, and we should never, ever, ever remember or mention the fact that Boston, at one point, that the great state of Massachusetts, at one point, had a basketball team. We're never bringing that up.
You know what's funny?
You know what? It's a myth. It's gonna be on the same level of a myth as Wilt Chamberlain's career. When this dude out here just averaging 50 plus points, 30 plus rebounds for a few months now. That's gonna be the new myth, bro.
It sounds like you don't even want Ben Simmons on your team now.
It's not that I don't want Ben Simmons, but I'm not gonna give up Jason Tatum, who I believe, if he's not a superstar, he's on the verge of it.
He's a superstar. I would give you that.
And Jason and not Jason, because I was gonna say Jason Tatum, but for me, Jason and Jaylen Brown, who I believe he's already a star, and he has superstar flashes. You know what I mean? Why are we gonna do that? And why would we break that up?
To reunite Al Horford and Josh Richardson and Ben Simmons.
I'll punch Al Horford in his face. I'll punch him in his face. I'll get beat up afterwards, though. I will get beat up right afterwards.
Isn't he playing good? That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, bro. He'll probably beat me up right after because rumor around the street is Al Horford can fight. That's the rumor. Now, I ain't trying to see if it's a reality because I ain't trying to be that guy to take that L. You feel me? But I will say this right now, man. Look, free Ben Simmons. That's all I'm saying. It has been your boy Pride. Obviously, it's fun being able to do this with you guys. I apologize for my daughter in the back. Literally, every time I tell her to be quiet, she smiles and then screams. So, that just shows you in this household, I get no fucking respect, right? So, that's just how it is for me. But obviously, I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Coach, Greg, Mitch, Jay, Spotlight swung by, and Trey. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Everyone in the chat, appreciate it. It's always fun when we're able to talk sports. You know what I mean? Sometimes it gets heated, but at the end of the day, between us, it's all love. You know what I mean? It's definitely fun. This is definitely something I look forward to every morning. Because again, it's fun. I like being able to come out here, talk with you guys, get other people's perspectives. And then when I get your perspective, just immediately call you stupid and say your perspective don't matter. And then in the next breath, I ask you to clarify your perspective. So, I've always said this, when it comes to this field, you're only as good as the people you work with, and, a lot of people usually say that I'm all right at this podcast and stuff, and I always say, if you think I'm good, then that just means that the people around me are doing a fucking phenomenal job and making me look good. That's always how I've looked at it. So seriously, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's always fun. It has been your boy Pride on behalf of Coach Dante, Greg, Mitch, J Mac, Trey, and Spotlight. We will be back here 9 Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, talking more sports. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Be safe.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.